different next week. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to. I'm very much looking forward to seeing next week. Tonight is... I was just distracted, actually, by a Sean Ross Sapp tweet. He said, I thought I'd have this out in the next few minutes, but it'll be closer to NXT tonight or tomorrow. It's a good one. I won't let you down with the eyeball emoji, I promise. Okay, I don't really understand what all this means. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Sean Ross Sapp. Harley's just sent that over to me. Yeah, I don't quite get what he means by this. We know that WrestleVotes has been sending out, like, eye emojis. Is Harley in the chat? Harley, what does that mean? Well, I don't even know what that means. What is going on with all the wrestling journalists? What's going... Right, WrestleVotes keep sending out, like, eye emojis. And I have no idea what that means. And now we've got Sean Ross Sapp doing the same. But now he's at least followed it up by saying, I'm not going to let you down with this emoji. So, does that mean something's going down tonight? Does that mean releases? Does that mean superstar releases? Hang on. Oh my God, Sean, why can't you just say? Okay, so some of you might be watching this going, what's going on? What's happening? What are you on about, right? Harley has just sent this over. So, here you can see that 6 hours ago, Sean Ross Sapp put out a couple of eyes emoji. So, 6 hours ago, Sean Ross Sapp sent that out. Now he's just followed it up with this. I thought I would get this out in the next few minutes, but it'll be closer to NXT tonight or tomorrow. It's a good one. Okay, well, it's not... That doesn't mean it's people being released then, does it? I don't let you down with eyeball emojis, I promise. Okay, so something's going down tonight or tomorrow, and it's a good one, according to Sean Ross Sapp, and I don't know what that means. So, I don't know what's going on with wrestling journalism right now. It seems like we've abandoned actually reporting things, and it looks like we've just found emojis instead. So, guys, if you want to be a wrestling journalist, please, all you have to do is just keep sending out emojis, random emojis. They don't even need to make any sense. I think that's pretty much wrestling journalism in 2021. That's pretty much where we are now for wrestling journalism. So, it's a wacky world, this, isn't it? It's a wacky world that we live in. Yeah, shout out to everyone that's joining us. We'll obviously have to wait and see what comes of that. If anything comes of that. I mean, if it's a good one, then it's not going to be releases, of course. But, yeah, I mean, we do need to talk about releases because they've been heavily rumoured. Obviously, hopefully, they don't happen. Man, I feel like there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. Kind of like, they've given us loads of matches for tonight. There's rumours of releases. NXT, it's the final show that, as we know it tonight, next week is the refresh. Obviously, we've seen the new layout for the refresh as well. Loving the look of that. Like, there's so much to go through. I kind of feel like we need to just take it a step at a time. So, we spoke about the Sean Ross Sapp thing. Don't know what he means. We'll have to wait and see. In regard to releases, there's no more word on releases, but there could be releases. Obviously, next week is the start of this new NXT. We go to it being like a bit of a... I believe it's live next week for this relaunch. And obviously, a lot of you by now will have seen the imagery, the plans for the new layout. And I personally think it looks brilliant. It really looks like a place that I want to go and visit. I must admit, I look at this NXT and I'm like, not really bothered. Like, if I was in America, I might try and get tickets to go to this, but I'm not really bothered. Like, it doesn't strike me as a cool place to go. It doesn't strike me as quite an inviting place to go. I don't look at that crowd and think, oh, I wish I was there. I wish I was in that crowd. I get the feeling that the crowd are going to be more vocal. They're going to be more involved. I think it's going to, you're going to see some of the same faces again. And I think it's going to bring back that kind of sense of community that's been lost from NXT. So I'm really looking forward to the change and seeing more of the crowd and feeling more of the crowd. Like, the roar. Do you remember the old NXT song? The roar of the crowd. And that was a big part of it. And I think we've just removed all of that. Obviously, the pandemic has as well. If it wasn't for the pandemic, they wouldn't be behind masks. They wouldn't be behind plexiglass. They probably wouldn't be behind chain link fence. But the pandemic has resulted in that. But I think as of next week, all of that goes. I don't know about the masks. I don't know where America are with masks and mask mandates. But I think everything else goes. Like, it doesn't even look like there's barricades or anything in that new arena. So, very much looking forward to seeing this new NXT. It looks like a place that if I'm going to America, I really want to go to it. And I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to seeing that relaunch. The concern is releases. Because are they going to need all the talent that they've got right now? Is the talent they've got right now, does it fit in with what they want to do in the future and all that kind of stuff? So, yeah, the concern would be releases, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully not. Right, I desperately want to try and get to you guys, but there's so much that we have to just quickly touch on. Ciampa has also come out and said he's just really excited. Ciampa said he's not concerned about next week. He's really excited for next week and really does think that this is going to be, a refresh and said that he's up for it. I think the questions were like, are you worried? Are you concerned about the changes? And he said, change doesn't worry him. Change doesn't concern him. It's still the same people backstage. They're still the same performers. He's not been told that it's going to be a different show. So, at the moment, he's under the impression that it's largely going to be the same thing in this new space. Obviously, Vince has got more of a say over, the bigger decisions. But by and large, it looks like it's going to be largely the same. So, Ciampa coming out and saying he's very excited about what's going to be happening next week. I think the arena looks really good. Obviously, the logo has split opinion. So, fine. We'll park that. But I think there's enough to get excited about. And we know that Vince isn't running NXT, which is another reason to get excited. He's involved. He's heavily involved. But he's not running NXT. He's just looking over the big decisions, apparently. So, make of that whatever you will. Right, I am going to get to the chat. We've got MSK versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch on the show tonight. We've got Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter taking on Io Shirai and Zoe Stark tonight. We've got Ember Moon taking on Kaylee Ray. We've got Carmelo Hayes taking on Santos Escobar. We've got Dexter Lumis and Indi Hartwell segments. It's their bachelor and bachelorette parties, which should be a lot of fun. We've got, is it Mai Ying? The one out of Tiana Sha, the boomer woman. She looks like an old woman. She's like, yeah. That one. She's going to be wrestling. And then we've got Julius and Brutus Creed of Diamond Mine. These are two random people that have been shoved in the background of Diamond Mine out of nowhere. They're going to be making their appearances tonight as well. So quite a bit previewed. Normally you only get 2 or 3 things. Tonight we've got about 6 things previewed, but that's of course because this is a recorded show. So we know exactly what the matches are and everything that is going to go down. I actually haven't seen any spoilers. I haven't seen any spoilers for any episodes of NXT over this recent run. I'm sure you could find them, but I've not been sent them. I've not been told them. I've genuinely not seen any results, not been aware of any results, don't know any results tonight. So that's been kind of nice. That's been kind of nice that none of that has been spoilt, considering these have all been pre-recorded shows. Probably been out there, but just I've not seen it. So I'm looking forward to just watching the show tonight. And as we said, saying goodbye to the black and gold. Black and gold comes to an end tonight. No more black and gold brand. Next week it's all the colours brand. It's the rainbow brand. We get every colour. You get a colour, and you get a colour. Everyone gets a colour on next week's show. There's enough to go around. But yeah, no more black and gold. And that will be a shame. to see that go. But yeah, it's exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Right, I can jump into the chat. Julius and Brutus Creed. Yes. Apparently that. I don't know if he's called Julius and the other one's just called Brutus Creed, or if they're both brothers and it is Julius and Brutus Creed. I don't know. The way it was worded was Julius and Brutus Creed. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're brothers and they're both Creeds or what's going on. But, yeah, they are the two people out of Diamond Mine that we're going to see compete tonight. Goodbye, Black and Gold, says Justin. Primo said, did you see Mick Foley's tweet absolutely burying WWE? I did not know. I haven't seen that. Hayden says, how are you today? I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I actually got quite a bit of sleep today. So after Raw last night, I had to do some stuff for the members thing. And then I've started to try and download some pictures of figures, right? Wrestling figures, because I do want to do figure videos again where we're looking at, you know, I don't know, best masks, best whoever, blah, 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 blah. Haven't got my head around exactly what those videos are going to be about yet, but I have started the process of downloading, like, loads of pictures. By downloading, like, I mean literally searching the internet, finding the best, because that's, honestly, that's what takes the time. When it comes to figure videos, that is absolutely what takes the time. It's not recording it or doing thumbnails or anything like this. It's finding images that are good enough. There's so many images that have got, like, ringside stamped all over them, or the quality is really poor. Like, to try and find nice, clean, high-res images is largely the biggest battle. So I've started the process of doing that. So once it'll probably take about a week. But once I've been, like, you know, for a week just downloading images, finding them, saving them. I mean, I've managed to get about 20 series of elites sorted. So I need probably another 100 or whatever, different series of figures and whatever, and then that's going to give me the images I need to just start really getting some videos out there. So that's very much in my thinking. So I did a bit of that, but then after that I think it was a good 8 hours sleep, to be honest. Got up and had something to eat and just had a little look at, like, the articles that are out there. I did wonder if I was going to wake up to some NXT releases, and thankfully not. Thankfully not. So yeah, there's been no releases today, but I found the matches, and as we said, looking forward to tonight. I did see someone asking about, have you heard about the Undertaker movie, says Alexa Bliss Gamer. Hello, Alexa Bliss Gamer. Undertaker movie, I don't know if I've heard, I'm guessing we're on about the same thing. It's like an interactive thing. I can't quite get a read as to what it's going to be. I mean, like, it's on Netflix, and I think you're with the New Day. So, honestly, I couldn't quite figure it out. So, I think you are with the New Day in a haunted house, Undertaker's haunted house. And, like, it's like, should we go in this room? And, like, you press a button to go yes or no, or however it works. It's some sort of interactive movie where you choose, I think, what happens. Seems a bit gimmicky. Seems a bit for kids. Family fun kind of a thing. I can't imagine it's going to be all that long. So, yeah, I don't think it's like a proper Undertaker horror film. It's this kind of interactive, you're with the New Day in a spooky house kind of a thing. So, yeah, I mean, I'd probably skip it, to be honest. I'd probably skip it. I think it seems a bit family-friendly to me. It seems like a bit Scooby-Doo. WWE meets Scooby-Doo. Kind of a thing. So, yeah, it's good. I mean, there'll be people excited for it, and I could be completely wrong. It could be absolutely amazing. They might say it is a cinematic masterpiece. Rotten Tomatoes might give it 100% and say it's better than Citizen Kane. I don't know. But how ironic that one of the best films is called Citizen Kane. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what it's like when it comes out. But Spark said the new Undertaker movie proves that he was the Smackdown hacker. It's a true story. Do you see them changing what the titles are going to look like or keeping them the same? They might just change the logo part. So it might just be that the belts stay the same. I suppose, what's the one that's got it going down the middle? That's, that is the tag belts, is it? I think if you're doing a big relaunch like this, I would change the belts, but will have WWE done that? It takes a long time to get new belts made. It really depends when Vince decided he wanted to do this. If Vince decided he wanted to do this, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I don't think that's enough time. But if it's something that's been in the plans for a couple of months, then that's fine. But because you got to think it's got to be designed, it's got to be approved, it's got to be made. Then you would imagine they would want to start working on replicas that they could sell. There's you're not going to do that in 2 weeks. So I kind of think that I'm guessing at first, no, they probably won't change the belts, but eventually I think they will. But my guess is that this was probably a little bit last minute. And if they do change it, fair play, because that would suggest to me that they've given this some real thought. I mean, in all fairness, designing and approving and actually getting the builders come in and do it, the new layout, that must have took some time. In all fairness. That the plans that we're being shown and the plans for this NXT, that must have been in the works for a while, because there's plans and, they've obviously had to go out and make sure that someone can install all this. They'd have to find the budget for it. Vince would have to be very clear as to what he wants it to look like, to achieve, and what he wants NXT to be going forward. There must have been a lot going on behind the scenes, so who knows? Perhaps there's been more talk than what I'm giving it credit for. But would I change the belts? I think I would. Just because there's the tag belts that's got NXT going down the middle, and the new logo is just a little different, isn't it? The first Dynamite after Full Gear is in Hangman's hometown, and he is advertised all over it. Do you think that he could beat Kenny at Full Gear, and then his first show with the belt would be in his hometown? Well, yeah. I think that Hangman's the right person to beat Kenny. Kenny is done with Christian now. I think it's too soon for CM Punk. Is it too soon for Daniel Bryan to go after that belt? I mean, I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I can't quite get... I don't know. I don't know if the time's right. I kind of feel that right now, unless you're about to do Daniel and Jurassic Express and say Christian against the Elite with Adam Cole, Kenny, and the Young Bucks, then maybe you could take the title away from that mess. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if Jericho was the champ when we were doing Inner Circle Pinnacle. So maybe if you want to do Daniel Bryan's group against the Elite, you probably could take the title away from Kenny Omega, and then Hangman can go off and defend the belt whilst, that all plays out. So I suppose in a way that would make sense. So, and with the Young Bucks losing their tag titles, it sort of suggests there's a few cracks in the Elite. Sort of suggests that not everything is harmonious at the moment. So, yeah, you could go that way. Something about it feels too soon. I don't feel like Kenny quite achieved everything he set out to, but then what else could he do? He won the AAA title. He won the TNA and Impact titles. He won the AEW title. He's defended it multiple times. He's held it for a while. Maybe it just doesn't feel like he's held it long enough. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe it just doesn't feel like he's been champ long enough. But certainly if you compare it to like how long Moxley had the belt for, or how long Jericho had it for, I don't feel like Kenny's title reign is the same kind of length. So maybe it just feels a little bit early. But saying that, I think Full Gear's still quite a way off, isn't it? I don't think it's not next week or anything like this. Like, we're talking a couple of months. So, yeah, maybe it would be the right time. Maybe by then it would be the right time. It's interesting. Elliot said, you'd imagine they had been planning this for a while. That's why they chose to tape the shows after TakeOver to free up the arena to be redesigned. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know if it was just because the news... Maybe it's because the news broke and then we were there. Like, it's not... This wasn't rumoured for a long time and then, okay, now it's time. Like, we found out about it pretty close to it happening. So, that's when, like, word came out. So, maybe that's why it just feels a little bit quick to me. Because I've only known about it, obviously, as long as all of you, which isn't that long. That NXT is going to be changing when, you know, the news started coming through. There was going to be, you know, Vince was going to take more control and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, maybe it has been planned more. Maybe they do have new belts. Certainly, there's some of those belts, as I keep coming back to, where I think the logo needs changing. And the tag belts have got the logo going down the center. So I feel like that probably needs changing because the new logo is just slightly different shape. But I don't look at the belts and think they're going to be anything drastic. It's not like those belts are just not going to work at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could still have those belts represent the new NXT for a little while. But I just think if you're going to refresh it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they went as far as to design new titles. I hope so. I'm a belt fan. I love belts. It's the whole reason why I started collecting figures, because I wanted the belts. And I was watching Grimm's toy show, and I remember seeing his figure room, and it was just like loads of Mattel figures holding up belts. And the quality of the belts, like they just looked like perfect little replicas. And I was like, that is just insane. Like, I want to get all of the different championship belts. That was the whole reason why I started. So I'm a big belt fan. So if they're going to bring new belts in, I'm all for it. Edward said, apparently Nikki Bella wants a title run one last time on Raw or Smackdown. Smackdown. What do you think about that? What do I think about that? I don't really have an opinion. I mean, she's not someone that it really moves the dial for me, but I do recognise that she has got a fan base and that she was she on Dancing with the Stars, I believe, and has been in Total Divas. That was so successful. They had their own show, Total Bellas. I feel like they've built up a pretty strong following. And I think that... Do they move the dial? Probably not. But they do have a dedicated fan base. And, you know, would Vince be interested in bringing her in for one more title run? Maybe. I mean, they went in the Hall of Fame, you know? They went into the Hall of Fame and did add a little moment at WrestleMania. I think they're in Vince's good books. You know, I think... You have to give them credit for putting themselves out there. Like, they were all over Total Divas, Total Bellas, and they were still on the wrestling show as well. Like, they really, you know, threw themselves into it. Like, they must have opened their eyes and it must be like, right, time for work, kind of a thing. Like, because there's camera crews that are at home. They go to the show, there's camera crews there and all this kind of stuff. So... you know, fair play. She's not someone that I really care that much about, to be honest. But if she wants one more title run, then I'm sure they could find a story. I don't think the wrestling fans in general would be that welcoming. I think wrestling fans don't really have a great deal of respect for the Bellas. But there's no denying that they've got their own fan base, so I'm not sure how much they're going to really care about what the average wrestling fan thinks. So either way, I'm not bothered. definitely on Raw. I think Raw makes more sense. Like, you drop Nikki Bella onto Raw right now, and it really doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel out of place at all. So, yeah, whatevs. Days, could NXT be in Survivor Series again? I don't think so. I think they want to make it more developmental. So I think when it was in Survivor Series, they were trying to make it more third brand. They were trying to make it more like ECW. Do you remember when they had that? Again, it's just a guess. But my guess is that they're going to look to make this more developmental. They're cleaning it up. They're trying to find the next big stars. I don't think they'll use them for Survivor Series and give them that type of a platform, because I think they're probably just going to treat this as its own thing, just to the side. Ben, shout out to you. Mark said, pro wrestling or sports entertainment? I think I'm someone that, it's a really interesting question, because I'm someone that I think likes a really good mixture of both. But because I think I watch UFC on a weekend, and that is just fights. And it's fight after 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 fight. And you've really got to care about the people that are fighting, or know a bit about them to get really anything from the show. Either that, or you've got to be betting money on it, right, to get some up from the show. Because if it's just unknown fighter versus unknown fighter, and then the next is unknown fighter versus unknown fighter, and then after that it's unknown fighter versus unknown fighter, you very quickly find that you just don't care. And there's been a few shows where, there's just been a lot of, like, UFC debuts and people that we've seen once or twice before going up against each other. And it's really hard to care. It's really hard to care about those fights. Like, when it comes to UFC, the big pay-per-views are amazing. Or, like, we watched Paddy Pimblett, who's made his debut, but I knew about him already. And I was really excited for that. So if pro wrestling is just match after match after match after match after match, and you don't really get like much kind of backstory, or you don't explore the characters that much, it runs the risk of getting a bit stale and getting a bit samey and being a bit boring, which is where the sports entertainment side comes in. So the sports entertainment side for me brings a bit of colour, brings a little bit of entertainment, brings a bit of depth to some of the characters. With pro wrestling, you can get depth. I mean, back in the day, when it was just pro wrestling in the NWA, you'd have your promos. There'd be the odd thing that would happen outside. I like all of that, though. That is valuable to me. I will sacrifice a few matches to explore more of that. I'm someone that wants both. I'm someone that wants both. I want the matches. I want great 5-star matches. I want great in-ring action. I really value that. I think that, we talk about our favourite matches all the time, like Volta versus Dragunov. We talk about Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. You talk about Ric Flair versus Ricky the Dragon, or Okada versus Omega. Like, all these amazing matches why really we tune in, like, to watch these amazing matches, the drama and all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't just do match after match after match after match. I love a little bit of a backstory, a bit of a backstage brawl, a little bit of a vignette, the early Firefly fun houses, all that kind of stuff. Sign me up for that. So, but as long as it's good and it's credible and it's, really interesting story. Look at the Roman stuff. So the Roman stuff is perfect. It's perfect. If someone was to say, what do you love about wrestling? I'd be like, just watch the Roman story, because it's logical. It's twisting and turning all the time. Like, you got Jimmy, who was fighting against Roman. You had Jay that was fighting against Roman. They've now fallen in line. You've got Paul Heyman that's, now with Roman, but now Brock's come back. What does that mean? So you've got all these little twists and turns. You've got Big E with the briefcase, who's threatening to cash in. You've got the Usos not trusting Paul Heyman now, but Roman does. It's very interesting stuff. But at the end of it, what you get are amazing Roman Reigns matches. His match against John Cena was brilliant. Roman Reigns versus John Cena was absolutely fantastic. Roman Reigns against Jey Uso, and that little thing was brilliant because of the emotion in there. I mean, like, Jimmy, I remember they did a Hell in a Cell, and Jimmy was running down pleading with Roman to stop, basically. His matches with Owens, do you remember that, like, ladder match with Kevin Owens? So, for me, all of that sports entertainment stuff that's going on just really adds to the drama of the matches. So, for me, I can't sit here and say, which one do you choose? Which one would you prefer? Do you want to watch pro wrestling, which largely is match? Yes, with a few promos, but I do like to go a little deeper. Or sports entertainment, which seems to sacrifice match quality. I mean, if you're watching Raw, you're not going to see a 5-star classic. I don't think there's been I don't even know if there's been a 4-star match on Raw this year, right? There has been some good matches. I mean, Drew versus Sheamus this week was good, but they're not getting to like 4-5 stars. They're not trying for that. They're not looking for that kind of, oh my god, that match is. I mean, who finishes the week and says their favourite match of the week happened on Raw? It just doesn't tend to happen, does it? Like NXT, AEW, Smackdown, maybe even Impact, I don't know, tend to put on better quality matches. That's not the focus of Raw. Raw is family entertainment, isn't it? It's sports entertainment that goes a bit too far to me, towards the kids at times, with stupid dripsticks. Stupid dripsticks, stupid moist TV, all this stupid silliness that's just silly. It's silly. And, I've long accepted that's what Raw is now, but it's not to my taste. That's not what I look for in wrestling. I look for great matches that have got this wonderful framework that's been built around it using vignettes, promos, a few little twists and turns, good storytelling. Do you know what I mean? Like, all of that kind of stuff. That's what I look for in wrestling. Look at the Hangman Kenny Omega stuff. It's a real slow burn. This has been going on for years. Years and years and years. You can go all the way back to New Japan with the whole Hangman Kenny Omega stuff. And how AEW started, and the fact that they were friends, they teamed together, they fell out. Now feels like Hangman's out of the elite. And there's like this has been a really slow burn, but everyone says that Hangman should be the next person. Hangman should be the next person because of the history, the backstory, and all that kind of stuff. To me, that's kind of the sports entertainment side. So, yeah, I can't answer which I would choose, because I think that they can work hand in hand, but it's got to be done well. It's got to be done right. And Raw hasn't got it right. NXT and AEW are probably the closest, but I think they get it wrong quite often for my taste. And SmackDown is doing much better right now, but easily the best thing has been the Roman story, and that's carried SmackDown, in my opinion. I've found for a long time with SmackDown that it starts amazing, normally because of the Roman promo, and then it's like dips in the middle where we get Dominic and whatever, right? And we get like Shorty G or whatever it was, like 6-7 months ago. Like, you'd get a great promo at the start, then it would start to dip down, and then as you got back to the main event, probably Roman or the Usos or whatever, it came back up again. It was really anchored by the Roman story, with a few little bits in between where we check in with it. But a lot of the other stuff could really sag. I mean, Big E, since he's gone solo, hasn't really set the world on fire. I'm loving him now he's got Money in the Bank and he's giggling his head off. I'm loving that. But he just seems to be a bit confused as to what he is. Do you know what I mean? He's wearing New Day attire, but he's coming out to his own music now. And really, I want to see him. I want to see Big E. I want to see Big E's personality. It doesn't feel like there's a character there for him at the moment. It's a bit confused, and I wish there was more focus to that Big E character. Because when he comes out, I kind of go, I'm a bit more into it now he's got Money in the Bank. But by and large, do find myself going, and I shouldn't, because I think that he should be a future champ and we should be building him up, but it's not been brilliant, has it, since he left the New Day? I mean, winning Money in the Bank, I keep coming back to that, that's been brilliant, but his feud with Apollo, no, wasn't feeling it. And then I don't even know who he's been feuding with recently. Just haven't been feeling it. So, and really, a lot of SmackDown has felt like that. The Bianca stuff's been all right though. Bianca's been pretty cool. But obviously, like where Sasha's come and gone, and Bayley's got injured, and we've had to parachute in Carmella, and now Becky's come back. Like, it's been a little bit messy. It's not like we've been able to tell like a nice, straightforward story. So, that's been a little bit of a victim of circumstance. But anyway, we're going off on tangents. But yeah, I'd say like they both complement each other very well. Mini King, shout out to you. Hope you are well. How long have we got? We've got 23 minutes. 23 minutes to go. We've got 23 minutes to go. Kevin Owens' contract is expiring in January. He's on his way out for sure, says the Path Creator. Mini King, shout out to you. Good night, my friend. Sleep well. Have beautiful dreams about Vince in a mankini. That's what I want you to think about, Mini King. I want you to think about Vince in a mankini like this. Goddamn, Mini King. Check me out. Yeah, I'm wearing a mankini. I don't know why he's doing this, but he is. So I want you to dream about that. So good night, Mini King. LSW said, with SmackDown, it feels like they put all the booking effort into Roman, and the rest of the show doesn't quite get the attention that it needs. I suppose it's hard to tell big stories for everyone. I do think that there should be a big female story. I do think that there should be something for the women, because there isn't really. I mean, the big story at the moment is probably Becky coming back and Becky potentially turning heel, but at the moment it just consists really of Bianca saying, can I have a rematch, and Becky going, no. Like, that's it. That's the depth that the women get of creative storyline. Becky comes back, says, can I have a match? Let's blow the roof off this joint. Bianca goes, okay. And then Bianca's asked a couple of times now, can I have a match? And Becky's gone, no. I mean, how long did it take them to go with that? Do you think how many people in a room did it take to come up with that one? Like, they're all sat there going, oh, we've got this really good Roman family story. We need something for Bianca. How about she asks for a rematch and Becky says no repeatedly? That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Write that down. Write that down. Vince will love that. So, yeah, I wish there was... I do find, you know, that and I've thought about this because of Jeff Hardy, right? I do find the arenas are a problem. I'm going to go off for a second now onto a little tangent. Just a little second, right? Jonathan Farthing, shout out to you. Hope you are well. With pretty cool gaming emoji. That's cool. So, Jonathan Farthing, shout out to you, buddy. But yeah, I've been thinking about this. Like, I think that you could have an amazing wrestling show that has like real backstory and good creative story and all that kind of stuff. If it was kind of like filmed, good chunks of it were filmed away from the arena. The reason they can't do that is because if you pay your money to go to Raw, you're going to see, say, 4 matches, and the rest of the time you're going to have to watch the screen. So the thing is, we're kind of handcuffed to the current format because of People Live. Do you know, it makes you wonder, why couldn't they have done more during the pandemic? There's no one there live. There's no one in the crowd. Like, you could have done some amazing things away from the arena, and really told some stories. I mean, I've been loving like the Dexter Indi story in NXT. I think they could have done more. They seemingly got married very quickly. They went on one date, and we had cameras there for that. But like, I feel like there's a lot more we could have explored. Do you remember the Garganos at home stuff as well, where we went round Johnny and Candice's house, and we were going round for dinner, and we did that a few times. That actually led to the birth of The Way, because you might remember their TV got broken, and then Indi bought them a new TV, and out of that, The Way was born. I want more of that. I want more of that kind of superstars at home, superstars out and about, superstars doing whatever. I definitely want more away from the ring, but the thing is, we're handcuffed to the current format because people live that go to watch it would see, X amount of matches, and then they would have to sit and just watch, the screen. The other thing is that you could get away with it maybe not being live, and you could tape the matches, but then the results would leak out. So it's a bit of a problem, really. It's a little bit of a problem. It doesn't allow you to change, the current format. You've got to just pretty much roll with what we're doing. But I would love a bit more depth. But Vince seems to be really against it for that reason. Vince seems to want to, give the live crowd as many matches as much as possible, which you can understand. Can definitely understand. But and I can't find a way around it, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's the stuff that I would like to see more of. I think like the Funhouse was fantastic when it started. Thought it was brilliant, and more vignettes like that I think are an easy way forward. There's no reason why you can't do those kind of vignettes for other people. I mean, to my knowledge, there are none right now. Who's got vignettes like those right now in WWE? I can't think of anyone outside of maybe what we've been doing with Cameron Grimes. Think about Cameron Grimes and LA Knight and how much fun they've been. They've been pretty cool. Like him being the butler, and people have been enjoying those. Not the strongest, not the strongest, but they've been working. I want more of that. I want way more of that. Just because I think you can really give some depth to the characters. I find it weird that Ring of Honor still doesn't have any fans at their TV tapings. John Cena, Roman at SummerSlam is my match of the year. Then Luchas and Young Bucks are all out, says Edward. Tay said, do you think Netflix escape of Undertaker with the New Day? What do you think of it? I don't really know much about it other than it's a film, an interactive film. Because the New Day are in it and it's interactive, it strikes me as being for a younger audience. There might be some stuff in there that's going to appeal to everyone. It might be all right, but it's not something that I'm personally desperate to experience. Just because I think if it was an Undertaker film, so if it was like the origins of the Undertaker and it was going to be Undertaker's backstory, oh my God, would that not just be the greatest thing ever? Imagine that we get more depth to the Undertaker character now, but we go back to the Undertaker in his early years and we actually see what the Undertaker went through. That's the film I want. Give me a call when you make that film. Tell me when you're making that film. Like, now that people's careers are over, could you not do a series of films where you actually go back and fill in a few gaps? How about we have a look at what Shawn Michaels did when he left WWE in 98 and didn't come back till about 2002? How about that 4-year gap? We kayfabe a story and we look and see what Shawn was up to. And you could see an injured Shawn Michaels at home with his back all taped up and, you know, down on his luck and not knowing what the next steps are going to be. And like he gets into some scrapes or whatever. And, you know, by the end of the film, a few years have gone by, time jumps and whatever. And by the end of the film, he's healed and he's ready to return. Like, you could actually bridge 98 to 2002 with a 2-hour movie that really explores what happened to Shawn Michaels' kayfabe during that period of time. You could explore what happened between Kane and Undertaker, and what resulted in Kane in '97 ripping off the door to Hell in a Cell. Obviously, we know the backstory about the family and the fire and all that kind of stuff. Why don't they do a film on it? Like, give me a call when they do that, rather than The New Day and an interactive film where they go around a haunted house that feels a bit family friendly. So I'm not down on it. It's just, it's a bit like Raw. It's giving me content that just doesn't. I don't think it's aimed at me. I don't think I'm its demo. I don't think it's doing what I want it to do. But yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff would be fantastic. Goodbye, Kevin Owens is hinted at a reunion with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks and then deleted it. His contract is ending in January, and now he's put his location as almost there. Adam said, I'm finally back. I had to miss Raw. I was shattered from staying up all night for All Out and College, but I'm here and ready for some NXT. Yeah. Sean Ross Sapp now says 2022. Oh my god. What's your thoughts on the Mick Foley video? I've not seen it. What? Give me the overview. What's he said? Peacock Original Younger Taker episodes airing after Raw. Younger Taker. Oh my god, that sounds like Malcolm in the Middle or something along those lines. Did you see Heels? No, but I think I would have loved it. And apparently there was quite a big drop-off in viewership for like episode 3 or 4. That's the thing I read. People were saying that it was a really good show, but apparently the viewership just really fell away. I don't know why. I don't know if it was up against something. I have no idea. But I haven't seen it. I don't even know where to find it, to be honest, in the UK. But if I can find it, I'm definitely down for watching it, because I reckon that would be my kind of thing. I enjoyed The Wrestler, the movie, The Wrestler. I enjoyed that. I want some of that. I want some of that gritty realism. I'd love to explore a bit more of Alpha Academy, which I know is a weird one to come out with. Out of everyone I could have said, he's said Alpha Academy, and I have said Alpha Academy, because I think that Chad Gable has been brutally underutilized. He was in American Alpha, who are still one of the greatest ever NXT tag teams, right? American Alpha were amazing, right? They were absolutely amazing. You could make an argument for them being the greatest tag team in NXT history. You could legit make that argument, American Alpha. So, if you've never seen an American Alpha match, go out your way on the network to check out American Alpha, right? But it was Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. And it feels weird saying that now about how great they were, because it was a few years ago, but it has been years now. So they were amazing. So, and then since then, Chad has just been put with Bobby, and he's been Shorty G, and all this awfulness. Awful. I feel like right now is the first time in a long time I feel they could do something here. Like, this heel turn for Otis, I think, is like really intriguing. And Chad, I think, has always been a great wrestler. And I would love to get a bit more backstory on him. I'd love to get a little bit more about what's going on. You could sort of make it a little bit Cobra Kai. Do you know what I mean? In the sense of their Alpha Academy, they're a training school, they're, obviously heels. So you could do something a little bit Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is dojos that's training kids, and you've rival dojos and whatever. Whereas like Alpha Academy is, I think it's a wrestling training school, but there's no reason as to why they can't be going, and like we can see them training people, and those people competing in competitions, and you could have little side stories, and it would just give a bit more depth to Alpha Academy, and we would know what they're capable of, and we'd know a little bit more about them. but we just never go that deep with things. I don't know why. I think it's because we're always at the mercy of Vince changing his mind. Alpha Academy might not be a thing in a week's time. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we might just rip it up and that's it. Like, I really wish we would go deeper with some of these characters. I think that'd be... And when the network came along, I thought that would be perfect for that. I thought that we would start getting some of that and they'd just shove it on the network. But it's never worked that way. Wackin said, do you mean like they did with Young Rock? I never saw Young Rock, but Young Rock, I believe, was like a comedy, sitcom-y kind of a show. I don't think Young Rock... I mean, Young Rock, yeah, I suppose... So Young Rock, I suppose, gives you the backstory of The Rock growing up, but it's not the kayfabe story, is it? I believe it's the real story. Well, I think it's exaggerated for artistic merit, but Young Rock, yeah, that's him as a kid, you know, in a TV sitcom kind of a thing, growing up around wrestlers. I think what I'm talking about is more the characters. So I'm talking more about, yeah, like Young Rock, but don't give me the real story. Give me the kayfabe story. So what was I mean, I suppose the Rock character, his story is that he is the son of Rocky Johnson. So I suppose for that character, that was his story. That's the story, is that he grew up around wrestlers. He's the son of Rocky Johnson. He's, you know, part of the Anoa'i family. And that is that character's story. So I suppose in a way it works for Young Rock. But as I said, for Undertaker, I don't want the backstory of Mark Calloway. I don't want to see, like, you know, how he got into wrestling and, you know, was skyscraper and mean Mark Callis. I don't want to see the real... I want to see the backstory of The Undertaker. I want to see the backstory of that character. I want to see, like, you know, Shawn Michaels not as Shawn Michaels. I want to see the Shawn Michaels character, kind of what he was up to. Because I kind of feel like you could do a movie different to what Shawn was really doing at that time. Give me some depth to the characters. I just think it's so important that when someone steps into the ring, you know as much about them as possible. And that you've got that history, you've got that backstory, because it's easier to invest in them then. And it's easier to... It makes it more dramatic. Makes it a lot more dramatic. And there's so much more you can do. I mean, imagine if, like, just as an example, it turns out in someone's backstory they used to get locked into a room whenever they were naughty. So say when they was a kid, like, their punishment was they were locked into a room. And then during a match... Like, you know, someone grabs a hood and puts it over their heads or whatever, and that wrestler starts freaking out. You know they're freaking out because they're having flashbacks to being in that room and being confined and being trapped. And there's all this depth that can then come in. There's all this, like, psychology and drama that can come in. And that's, like, for me, the good stuff. That's the good stuff. That's the stuff that really makes a difference. I keep going back to, like, how during Okada and Omega, Omega never hit the one-winged angel, and everyone was like, what's gonna happen when he does? And that became a big thing during the match. What's gonna happen when he hits the one-winged angel? Will Okada kick out? Can he kick out of a one-winged angel? Like, is that what will put Okada away? So, this big thing, and they would tease it, and he wouldn't be able to get it, and he'd go for it, and he couldn't get it, and everyone's like, ah! And that stuff is so important when it comes to the psychology of a wrestling match. Yes, you can do, like, amazing moves and eye-catching moves and all that kind of stuff, but for me, the real sweet stuff, the real good stuff comes in, you know, some of those callbacks, some of the psychology, all that kind of stuff. And eventually, Okada, you know, Omega does get Okada, and he does hit the one-winged. And I won't tell you what happens. But the fact you're sitting there wanting to know what happens kind of says that, you know, that's the good stuff. We've got 4 minutes left to go. Foley said, if it's not broke, then don't fix it. He was referring to Carrion. He said if he was a new guy joining a company, he wouldn't join WWE. He doesn't trust creative. I think that's fair enough, isn't it? Who's going to argue with that? I ain't arguing with that. I agree. And I think a lot of wrestlers agree. Which is why Daniel's gone to AEW and Adam Cole's gone to AEW. I think if you're a wrestler... I mean, like, Tommaso doesn't want to go to the main roster. Volta doesn't want to move to America. Daniel Bryan's just left a load of money to go to AEW. He's probably getting paid very well in AEW, but I would have to think that Vince is going to pay more. Same with Adam Cole going over there as well. Like, and those are two wrestlers that apparently Vince wanted to keep. Apparently Vince had conversations and wanted both. So hardcore WWE fans might turn around and say, "No, we didn't need him. He didn't want him." He did. He did. Vince did want them. And he definitely wanted them to stick around. He saw value in them. So that definitely didn't go his way. So, yeah, I don't disagree. I really don't disagree. I think for me, you look at, like, SmackDown, I think is brilliant. I think they're doing some really good stuff over there at the moment. Raw is, for my taste, a long way away from where we need to be. A long way from where we need to be. But, as we said on yesterday's Raw watch-along, there's people that are into it, and it keeps delivering 1.8. I mean, I don't know what this week's going to be. I've got a feeling it might have dipped. If it's over 1.8, I'll be shocked. Something about this week just suggests that it's dipped. I think my guess would be 16817. 16817, around that kind of ballpark. I haven't seen the number. I don't even know if it's out yet. But something about this week, I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think they're doing what they think is right for their audience, and by and large, I can't argue with it. They've been delivering 1.8s, so sometimes you have to just go with it, don't you? And that's what Carrion's doing at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it's not as good as when he was down in NXT. Joaquin said it would be cool if Kane had won and we looked at the day of the fire. That would be cool. You're right. That would be cool. The thing is as well, so I don't want to ruin anything, but there's a Walking Dead, right? There's a baddie in Walking Dead. He is the biggest bad guy you've ever seen. Yeah, he is horrific. Like, if you had a gun, you would not think twice about killing him. This guy is an awful guy. He's horrific. If you had a gun, you pull the trigger. Like, you don't want to be in the same space as him, right? So, like, you'd want him dead. Fast forward a few seasons, he's still around. He's lost everything, and he's having to, like, be a good guy now. And now, if you had a gun, you wouldn't pull the trigger, even after everything is done, right? And the reason why I say this is because you could get some details that could give you a completely different perspective on that whole thing when Kane first arrived. When Kane first arrived, he was a monster, and we were like, who's this? Oh my god, it's Kane. Kane's here, right? But he was going after The Undertaker, so straight away, oh, I don't like Kane. Well, I do. Kane's really cool, but, I prefer The Undertaker. But you could get some details that could flip that whole thing on its head, and it might make you look at it completely different. Cobra Kai again. First season of Cobra Kai, they actually made the bad guy from the Karate Kid films actually seem like the good guy. Like, they flipped that on its head. So, like, again, you'd just take down, like, twists and turns, and it could be really, really interesting. It could completely change your perspective on things as well. So, I think it would be super interesting. And I'm sure it would make you really think about things, and it would definitely provide more depth, and it would make the 97 moment even, like, more significant, because you'd get it more. You'd understand what had just happened that had built up to it, and it's one thing hearing about it, but a film, looking back at it, would be awesome. Ember Moon has made her way down. We are starting with NXT. This match should be good, says Robin. With the number of viewers being the way shows are judged, the biggest demographic is kids. WWE owns that demographic. Adults pay for their kids to watch. Yeah, I think that's what they're going for. Certainly with Raw. I don't feel like they're going for it quite as much with SmackDown. But, I mean, there's no denying the kids, you know, into Roman. I think Roman's the biggest merch seller. Here's Kaylee Ray. Nikki is one of the diva crushes that I have. I've got a crush on Rhea, Bianca, and Naomi. Cool. If you are interested in the origin of Undertaker and Kane, check out Undertaker, Rise of the Dead Man by Boom Studios. Oh, I didn't know they'd done that. I didn't know. Is that what the comics do? I knew there was comics. I actually bought the first one. I think it had Seth on the front. No. I think there was different covers that you could get. I think one might have been Roman, one might have been Seth, one might have been Amber. It might have been the Shield, and it was different cover. I can't remember now. But, yeah, I didn't know they'd done, like, the backstory of The Undertaker. That's cool. They should make that into a film. Right, we've got Kaylee Ray versus Ember Moon. Corvid said, what are the chances we'll get a big cliffhanger tonight? Maybe destroy the ring and stage. That would be fun. That would be fun. I sort of feel like if that had happened, I would have heard about it. That's the only thing. Haven't heard of any results or anything from these tapings. And I sort of think if they go like big and do something massive, I think I would have heard. I think people, it would have got out. Don't know, no. It'd be cool. I like Ember. Ember, I feel sorry for. Ember's someone that I think could be a champ. I mean, like, we could be getting, like, Ember versus Bianca and all that. Like, I don't quite know why she went back to NXT, to be honest. Eric said, I'm sold ASM 50 for 150. Unmissed my first super chat. ASM 50 for... I don't know what that means. I sold ASM 50 for a 1,500. Missed my first super chat. Oh, I'm sorry if I missed the super chat. That's good. So you sold some stock and made some money. Very good, bud. Very good. ASM. What's AS? I don't know what ASM is. I don't know what that is. Good though. I saw the crypto market had a little dip today. Little dip, big dip. It's about 20% down, I think. So I don't know what happened there. Someone turned it off. Someone turned off the crypto market today. So glad you made some money, Eric. Both Sammy and Kevin deals are up in January. That's been confirmed by Sean Rossat. Is that what it was? Is that what the eyes were for? And he was waiting to say? Fightful has learned that Owens' contract is up sooner than expected. So is that what it is? I think I could definitely see Kevin Owens going. Definitely. I don't know how Vince will convince Kevin Owens to stay. I mean, I just don't think Kevin Owens is interested in doing the kind of stuff that they've had him do. I mean, they gave him a main event run. Owens against Lashley would be good. If I was Vince, I'd be like, how do you fancy going over and challenging Bobby? and we'll do a feud, and you'll get the belt. I don't know who Big E cashes in on then, though. That's the only problem. But yeah, I mean, I could see him going to AEW, going back to being Kevin Steen. Owens isn't a WWE loyalist. I've got no issue with Owens. I think that Owens is someone that works hard, does he's been in WWE for a long time. Do I see him being a lifer? Probably not. No, probably not. I think the relationships he had on the indie scene with a lot of the guys in AEW is going to be too strong. But I do not begrudge it him at all. I think he's done everything that's been asked of him. I think some of his booking has been awful. And it's never quite kicked on. If you think about when he was in NXT, and he kind of still had that indie feel to him. His shirts now are they're too neat. Fight Owens fight, it's all too neat. When he came in, do you remember when he had the KO and it was kind of like gaffer tape? That was Owens. Owens is indie, rough, ready. He's fight Owens fight. Owens is there to fight. And I just kind of his shirts for a long time have been too neat. I know that sounds crazy, but compared to when he first came in. And I think that just kind of sums up his booking as well. Kevin Owens should just be a wild man, a brawler. So yeah, I think I could see him going. We've gone to commercial break. Just going to show you what I mean about Kevin Owens and his shirts. It's a different feel as well. I mean, there's a picture here of Owens, and he looks like a brawler. This picture that I'll show you looks exactly like what I'm saying. I'd have no idea. Flip, I've got no idea where this is saved. Got it. Look at that. That is a bad man, isn't it? That is a bad man. That is a flipping killer. And look at the shirt as well. Just perfect. It's just perfect. Kevin Owens in gaffer tape, just put onto the shirt, and he just looks like he's going to go out there and just murder people. And now he's got the KO show. We've gone from this to, let's have a look. Smackdown. So that's Owens when he first came in. And that's what we've got now. Well, there he's wearing a Street Profit shirt and he's on the Kevin Owens show just chatting away, and it's all very polished. It's all very sports entertainment. It's all very Kevin Owens show. Nah. I want that. I want the Moody Owens back. I want the gaffer tape. I want all that kind of stuff. Gritty, grotty. Kind of all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I won't begrudge him if he goes to AEW. I just don't think he fits into sports entertainment, to be honest. He's a wrestler. He's an indie wrestler. And I think he's given sports entertainment a go. And he's funny, and he's got a good personality, and he can do it. And he probably enjoys being on TV. And he probably likes, I know he's got boys and kids that probably enjoy watching him in WWE, but they can watch him in AEW. So, yeah, I would not begrudge him leaving. And that he'd be big. I could see him being a needle mover. I think anyone that's had the exposure of being a regular on WWE TV are going to move the dial for AEW. So just because like Kevin Owens might not have ever reached the heights of like CM Punk, he might actually have a bigger effect if he goes to AEW because he's been on TV a lot more regular and more recent. This is the longest ad break in the world. Edward said, Kaylee Ray was my next door neighbor. Is that true? Because I kind of feel like you would have mentioned that before now. If that was like, if what you've just said there was a fact, I'm pretty sure you would have mentioned it before. Ryan says, maybe KO goes to AEW reviving Kevin Steen and El Generico joins him. That'd be good. So that's Sami Zayn. Kaylee Ray trying to plant Ember Moon. After AEW signs Owens, if they do, they need to chill on getting everyone. I saw a video just from Grimm, and I thought it was very interesting. He said he's put a video out not long ago saying why AEW All Out sucked. And straight away that got my attention because obviously everyone's showering it in praise. And in fairness, so did we. I gave it a 9. It was a very, very good show. But I do have to keep coming back to the fact that a large part of that score was bringing out Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan at the end. And Ruby Soho, of course. So, but he's put that it sucked. Now, I clicked on the video, and what he actually says is that it's brilliant, right? He actually says it's a brilliant show. But his main point was that they've just pushed all the WWE guys. It was like, if you look at everyone that wins, like Jericho won, ex-WWE, beat MJF. Big Show won, beat QT Marshall. Miro won, beat Lance Archer. CM Punk won, beat Darby Allin. John Moxley won, beat Kojima. So there's 5. And then he's like, in the Casino Battle Royal, where you've got 21 people, Ruby Soho wins, formerly Ruby Riott. There's 6. So out of 10 matches, and there could be more, I don't know, I'm trying to think what the other matches were. Young Bucks, Lucha Bros, none of them are WWE. Matt Hardy lost, in all fairness, in that first match. And there was another couple of matches, which I can't quite recall right now. But, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, neither of them are WWE. And there was one more match, and I can't remember it. But the point was, out of 10 matches, 6 had ex-WWE people winning. And, they're meant to be building stars for the future and all of that. And I thought it was an interesting point. That, and it kind of goes back to what Austin's saying there. You know, if they do bring in, say, Bray, if they do bring in Kevin Owens, they probably do need to then look to slow it down a bit. Just because, like, it is starting to get so cluttered that it's hard to get some of that new talent coming through. But in all fairness, I do think that CM Punk beating Darby was the right move, because I think ultimately Darby gets, the win in the future. I think you can do the rematch in the future, and I think Darby wins there. Suicide dive by Ember, Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray getting thrown back into the ring. Yeah, they probably need to use the people they've got to start telling some stories. And it seems like they're going to do that. Certainly if they're going to do Elite versus Daniel, Jurassic Express, and Christian Cage. Ember is slammed down. NXT has a 5-star match right now. What do you mean? This match, are you saying? I think this is a very good match. I don't think this is a 5-star match. Kaylee Ray going up. Crashing down onto Ember. 1, 2. Kick out. Omega beat Christian, which isn't bad. Oh, was that the one? Was that the other one? Did I not mention that one? Omega beat Christian, yeah. But it's a good point. Out of the 10 matches, 6 have got ex-WWE people being victorious. I don't know that I would go far enough to say that's why AEW sucked, though. But I think you can say there's a concern that the roster's getting a bit crowded. It's hard for people to get through. Like, how does a powerhouse Hobbs get through? Shoulder up by Kaylee Ray. I'm looking forward to Dynamite and England versus Poland. Legend Killer, shout out to you. Yeah, we've got England-Poland tomorrow. Should be a good little game, that, over on the Football Days channel. And, yeah, you're right. AEW Dynamite tomorrow is going to be very interesting. Quite a muted "This is awesome" chant. But it does deserve it. This is a very good match. Bridging up. Up on the back of Kaylee Ray. Slams her down. Face first. Rolls her over. 1, 2, 3. And Kaylee Ray wins. NXT somehow lost the Wednesday Night War, but is better than Raw, says Jacob. Kaylee Ray victorious. People need to stop complaining about superstars coming over to AEW. Those people are babies. Well, I can understand the concern that, you know, you're basically bringing in WWE people and just booking them better. I think there's a lot of AEW talent that definitely deserves to be coming through. But I think they're doing an all right job of that as well. I think we're about to see Jungle Boy get worked with Daniel Bryan. And obviously I think it was a great spotlight for Darby Allin. I think Darby Allin looked amazing coming out of that match with CM Punk. So I think at the moment, right now, it feels okay. Feels okay at the moment. But that's the concern if you're going to keep bringing people in. I mean, if we are about to get a load of NXT releases, what does AEW do there? Do they bring a load more people in, or? Vape Ross Vape says, every legend in AEW is teamed with a younger talent. Yeah. Just seeing Oney Lorcan, Ridge Holland, Pete Dunne. Here's Carmelo Hayes and Santos Escobar coming up next. They did Ember wrong. That should have been a count out or a DQ, says Ryan. Here's the NXT advert. Seeing a lot more of this space now. Looks like where the stands are, just above it, looks like they're all screens. I mean, that's going to be quite interesting because you could probably make it feel like you're in different places, which would be really cool. Because it's like you've got the stands and then you've got like screens that seem to go all the way around. So if you wanted to make it like have people on the screen, so it felt even like there was more people there, you could do that. If you want to use that for like intros, which I'm sure they will, you could do that. You could make it feel like you're out in the woods and have like loads of trees or something. You could do that as well. In fairness, when Tiana Sha come out, or Legado del Fantasma, they make those screens at the moment kind of feel a bit like Aztec. Like it's a wall with like flames on it. Kind of feels a bit like a dungeon or an Aztec temple or something like this. So I think that's probably how they're going to try and use it. Similar to probably what they've got now. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential of things that you could use those screens for. It's good, man. It looks fresh. I really like those new plans. Days, Rampage and Smackdown numbers are out. Rampage got 696 and Smackdown got 2.2. That 696 is getting a little bit low now, isn't it? But I would imagine that it did well in the demo, and that is what everyone's shouting about rather than the 696. Days, I am concerned with the ex-WWE guys Tony Khan keeps bringing in, like Bryan, Wyatt, Punk, Owens. They cost a lot. Well, I mean, look, Tony Khan's a businessman, and he is going to do what's right for AEW. And he's going to have a budget. He's going to know what he's working towards. He's going to want to know what numbers to hit. So I have to think that, you know, he's thought all this through. He's a business guy. And he'll know exactly what he wants to do. I think what you could pretty much guarantee, though, is, you know, if Sean Spears was to get released now, no disrespect to him, but say he was in WWE and he got released, I don't think he would get brought in. I mean, do you know, Matt Cardana's a bit of a surprise. Matt Cardana is someone that's a really good friend of Cody. They brought him in for like a one-off appearance, but he's not been brought onto the roster. For whatever reason, I have to presume Tony just doesn't see much value in bringing in Matt Cardana. And that's no shade on Matt Cardana. I'm just, you know, maybe he's turned AEW down, but I would be surprised if he had. Yeah, you know, I think they're going to have to be a lot more selective with who they bring in now. Not just for financial reasons, but the roster's so stacked. But you would never turn down Kevin Owens, would you? Who would turn down Kevin Owens? You would never do that. Oh, look, this is what I love. This is what I love. So, a bachelorette party. Here is Indi and Candice. Lots of friends. Never gonna happen. A WWE wedding, never gonna happen. Mackenzie's there, and Indi's like, "Are you going to interview me?" And she's like, "No, I've left my microphone at home." So she says her best friend has come all the way from Australia, and her best friend's like, "Actually, I came to go to Disney World, but..." Indi thanks Candice for showing her the way. Candice is about to speak. Stop flip-flopping! Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro are TikToking. And Candice is like, "Stop flip-flopping down there." It's a very empty restaurant, by the way. Apparently there's a Dexter bachelor party as well. I'm not going to repeat that bit. Seems like Candice has come round. So, yeah, it looks like Candice has come around, but she says that Johnny's going to be a tougher nut to crack. That was a weird... I mean, I'll admit, that was a weird one, because it wasn't like laugh out loud, but... there's a little bit of story development there, because it seems like Candice has accepted that Dexter loves Indi, so they're kind of progressing the story, and it's kind of nice watching Candice interact with like Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter, and yeah, there was a little bit of something there. I would have upped the comedy a bit more in it. I think there's probably more you could have got out of that. Like, they could have flirted with one of the waiters, or you could have done stuff, but yeah, there's some stuff in that. Candice and Johnny are going to ruin the wedding. I don't know, Candice seemed to be coming round to it. She seemed to be coming round to it. Mackenzie steals their tater tots. Carmelo Hayes, Burn It Down, says, I love that segment. A wreck wedding, what can possibly go wrong? Candice LeRae, evil version no more. Index is on, says William. Right, here we go. Santos Escobar against Carmelo Hayes. Did Vince write that last bit? Yeah, it did lack a bit of comedy in there. I was expecting... They're normally really funny. And I didn't feel like that was as funny as what I thought it was, or was hoping it was going to be. But there was still some bits in there that I think was worth it. But, I mean... this is taped, isn't it? I was going to say, like, that crowd have just had to sit and watch that. So why can't people on Raw and SmackDown sit and watch a few things like that? I suppose they do get made to sit and watch those stupid 24/7 things. But, yeah, I would prefer it if we got a few more of those kind of vignette things. We've got Legado del Fantasma in the corner of Santos Escobar. The last time WWE had a wedding, it didn't go well. It never goes well. It never goes well. Right, we've got Santos Escobar in the ring and Carmelo Hayes in the ring as well. The two of them hooking up. Takedown by Santos. I want Elektra Lopez. She looks cool, man. She looks cool. Really good opening match between Ember Moon and Kaylee Ray. Really, really enjoyable match. Segment, just pushing the story along a little bit, what we just had. And we've still got the bachelor party. I mean, it might be quite funny because that was quite tranquil. Like, that little bachelorette party just went absolutely fine. Might be quite funny if the bachelor party is just a complete disaster as a nice comparison. That could be fun. Because we know that Dexter's not going to say anything. Johnny's going to have to do the heavy lifting. Johnny doesn't really like Dexter. So the bachelorette party's just gone all right. I think the bachelor party's going to be a disaster. So I'm looking forward to that. Santos getting into the ring. Carmelo Hayes, who obviously won that breakout tournament, is splashed by Santos. David said it will be interesting to see what kind of wedding dress Indi Hartwell will be wearing. Hopefully nothing weird or creepy like a black dress. Nice day for a black wedding. Could be one of them where she's all in... she could be in black and Dexter could be in a white suit. I don't know why I'd find that funny, but I would. She is cold and lonely in Tampa. Who are we talking about, William? You can tell that Santos is going to lose, says Houston. Will NXT TakeOver happen, says Jacob. I don't know. I mean, I presume so. I mean, the only thing I can tell you is there's an interview with Tommaso, and Tommaso said they haven't been told about any major changes. So, as far as they're concerned, it's business as usual. So, yeah, I will have to see. Daniel said, Days, did you know that all the WWE weddings go wrong? They do. I can't think of one that went... I'm trying to think if there was one that went well. I nearly said Macho and Miss Elizabeth, because that actually went fine. It was the reception after where it went wrong. And obviously, ultimately, they break up anyway. Do you remember when Triple H drugged Stephanie and they got married? I mean, that went well. She didn't protest. He had a great time. So, I don't know, that one seemed to go okay. And they're still married, so... if WWE does release NXT stars, who could you see it being, says Noah? If WWE does release NXT stars, who can you see it being? I wouldn't want to speculate on that. I wouldn't want to speculate. I don't want anyone to lose their jobs. I certainly don't want to sit here and go, well, I hope it's this person and that person and whatever. So, I don't know. I mean, the only thing I would say is that Vince wants big main event stars. He's looking for people that are over 6 foot and whatever. So, I think, you know, if you don't quite fit that profile, then, I don't know. You might be a bit nervous. I wish to imagine it's going to be an uncomfortable week for a lot of people in NXT, to be honest, because they all know this refresh is coming. And you'd probably wonder, am I a part of this refresh? Do I feature in this refresh? Like, it's only human nature to wonder how you fit in. So, yeah, it might be a bit of an uncomfortable week for some. I hope Carmelo Hayes does great on the main roster, says Robin. Johnny said Triple H is in bed crying, saying, Stephanie, your father is not being nice to NXT. I hope that's what he's saying. I hope that's exactly what's happening. I hope he's there and he's got the covers like... Stephanie, your father's not being nice to NXT. I hope that's exactly... I want that to be the exact thing that's happening. Because that would be funny. The Edge and Vicky wedding. I mean, they're still not... they're not together still. But I suppose, like, the wedding goes... I don't know. Does it have to be that the wedding goes all right and the marriage has to go all right? Or is it just the wedding has to be all right? Who's going to interfere next week? I wonder, actually, thinking about it. I haven't even thought about how it can go wrong. Who's going to interfere? Who's going to get in the way of the way? I think Johnny has already pushed back against it. I don't know that Johnny's going to push back against it again. I don't think Candice seems to be coming around to it. So who's gonna interfere? I wonder how much WWE would be reconsidering Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul now. I think Vince needs to just sit down with Kevin Owens and just be like, where are we? What's going on? Are you happy? What are you thinking? Can we get you down to sign another contract? What do you need? What do you need? I mean, in all fairness, you know, this is maybe why Vince hasn't been building big stars. Unless he knows that he can trust them. Unless he knows they're like Roman. Roman's WWE for life. I can't see Roman leaving. Cena would never have left. Stone Cold didn't go. Undertaker didn't go. So perhaps you've got to like prove your loyalty. If you prove your loyalty And maybe that's the missing ingredient. What if Kevin Owens was to turn around to Vince and go, I ain't going nowhere, boss. I want to be a big player for you, and I ain't going anywhere. Like, I wonder if that would do anything to how he gets pushed. I wonder if Vince would be like, I can see something in this guy, or I don't know. I think Vince has just had his heart broken too many times. Too many times. I think we all have. I'm going to wait for your wedding with Austin in August, says Ron Cena. Shout out to you, Ron Cena. Right, we're underway. How long's gone? Almost 40 minutes. It's going quite quick, isn't it? Anyone else think this is going quite quick? Going quite quick, this NXT. Obviously, next week's NXT is going to be super interesting. Everything's going to be interesting. Who's on the show? What stories are being told? How does the new layout look? What's the feel of it? What do the graphics look like? Are there new belts? Who starts the show? Does Triple H come out? Does Vince come out? Does Vince come out next week? God damn. So this is NXT. I wonder if he'd get booed. I think you nailed it. I think that could be the reason, says Harley. Sergio said Vince just doesn't have a heart. He's got muscles, though. Can't deny that. He's definitely got muscles. Elbows coming in by Santos. In fact, the heart is a muscle. I would imagine that if Vince found out the heart was a muscle, he'd probably work very hard to make it the biggest, wouldn't he? God, I've got the biggest heart out of it. It's this big, goddamn. It wouldn't surprise me if he did like heart exercises to try and build that. Because he's all about hitting the gym and bodybuilding, isn't he? He had the WBF for a while, the World Bodybuilding Federation. Do you know what? Someone should have told him that, Vince. Did you know the heart is the biggest muscle? God damn. I need to build my heart. If he found out we were all making fun that he's got a little heart. He's got a little muscle, little heart muscle. Oh, you got a little heart muscle, have you, Vince? Oh. God damn, they're making fun of me. He must have got bullied as a kid. I think as a kid, actually, he had, unfortunately, I think his stepdad was a bit abusive. I think. He didn't have an easy upbringing, Vince. Didn't have an easy upbringing at all. So I wonder if some of it stems from that. I wonder if that's why he's like 102 and is still like working out at 3 o'clock in the morning in the gym. Kick to the back of Santos Carmelo Hayes. Leg drop and Santos Escobar goes down. Dr. Angel said, I'm not a doctor, nor do I work in the medical industry, but I'm pretty sure that everyone has got a heart. Well, someone has never seen The Wizard of Oz. Clothesline by Carmelo Hayes. Fake Ross Vape said, Owens tweeted the coordinates to Mount Rushmore, then he took it down. Mount Rushmore is in the Indies, where the Bucks, him, and Cole were. It's well, look, he's teasing that his contract's coming up and that he's going to go to AEW, and he's getting the fans to talk about it. And but if his contract's not up till like January, that's a long time. That's a lifetime in wrestling. Action movies, comedy movies, and sometimes Disney movies. American Girl, shout out to you. William says, I am now a bully. Days has made me one. I like to inspire people. I get a lot of people saying, you've inspired me to start a YouTube channel, stuff like that. And now I'm inspiring people to be bullies. That's great. I've leveled up. Here we go, up over the top to the outside. This is quite a long match, isn't it? Legado del Fantasma. Oh, look, she picks up Carmelo Hayes, slams him down. Oh my God, she's basically like the new China. You don't mess with Familia. Elektra Lopez. Oh. Find a woman that can love you and beat you up at the same time. Carmelo Hayes gets back in, so Elektra Lopez picking up and slamming Carmelo Hayes. Oh, driver. 1, 2, 3. Santos Escobar wins. All thanks to Jennifer Lopez. Thank you, Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez picking up and slamming Carmelo Hayes on the outside of the ring. Fist bump, and a fist bump as well. Amazing. I bet you wish that she'd slammed you down. Caden Carter is doing this, and Casey Catanzaro's like handstand and walking past. What's the opposite of a bromance? That's what Casey and Caden have got. They've got like a lady-mance. They've got a lady-mance. It's kind of like a lady bromance. So I'll go lady-mance. Who's in the background? Seen her before, the woman with blonde hair. She used to be in the crowd when we were at the Performance Center. When we were at the Performance Center and we had Raws and Smackdowns, that woman in blonde hair, I swear she was in the crowd. Saw her quite a lot. Train, become, perform. Welcome to the Diamond Mine. I bet you Mr. McMahon has got back issues. Yeah, for carrying wrestling for the past 40 years. Days has got Jennifer Lopez on his mind. Haven't we all? Days pays attention to blonde women too much. He's basically Vince McMahon. God damn! Eric Defcon Prime Dorigi said, who remembers when those two guys were kidnapped when they were luchadors and got brainwashed? Pepper Ridge Farm remembers. They dropped that storyline. No, that is Whacking Wild and Raul Mendoza. Those were the two that got kidnapped. And now that's how Legado del Fantasma was formed. So it was those two. I mean, I don't think they did a great job of explaining why now they work with Santos Escobar. I do completely agree with you there. I think they could have really gone a bit further with that. But it just comes back to what we've been saying all stream. They could go more in depth with everything. Everything is just surface. All the stories are just surface. You gotta read Jennifer's comment on what Lorelai did today. Where's that? Where are you? Lorelai was hiding animatronic spiders for unsuspecting joggers. Oh. What have you done? In all fairness, that beats anything that any of you have done today. Not a single one of you in this chat right now, myself included, can say that what we did with our day is better than what Lorelei did with hers. Lorelei was hiding animatronic spiders and then controlling them out so that joggers and walkers would, like, freak out. Not a single one of you had a day as great as that. Gotta live your best life, guys. You've got to live your best lives. Amazing. Something about dangerous women excite me. Jennifer says I've raised her right. Definitely have. That was Emily Anzulis. I don't know who that is. I'll Google it. Hang on. Let's have a look. Emily Anzulis. Yeah, she's the one. She's the one that she is the one. So she's had one MMA fight, amateur. She's 29, known as the Pitbull. WWE NXT talent. Was she on Underground? She was on Underground. She was on Raw Underground. So the girl in the background was used on Raw Underground. NXT talent Emily Anzulis was told to hold off on her MMA and fighting skills during last night's Raw Underground with Shayna Baszler. Week 2 of Raw Underground featured the first round of female action as Shayna Baszler fought off 3 competitors, Amelia Anzulis and 2 indie wrestlers, Marina Tucker and Sophia Castillo. The fight ended with Baszler forcing Anzulis to tap out. Anzulis trains in jiu-jitsu and has done some MMA training in the past, but was told not to use those skills on Raw Underground. There we go. Very interesting. Good shout. Here we go. William Regal. Okay. Next week. Okay. So Fatal 4-Way next week on the new NXT. So, Pete Dunne, Tommaso Ciampa, Kyle O'Reilly, LA Knight will compete in a Fatal 4-Way next week on the new NXT to see who faces Samoa Joe. Here is Diamond Mine. Diamond Mine. Right, we've got a tag team match coming up. This is Julius and Brutus Creed. Julius. The Creed brothers. So they are. It is Julius and Brutus Creed. That is their names. Julius Creed and Brutus Creed. What's their dad called? Maximus or something. Their mum was known as Cleopatra. And their dad was known as Maximus. They've both got amateur wrestling singlets. Plot twist, they're not related. Fatal 4-Way. Fatal 4-Way. Brutus and Julius. Who are they facing? Who are these guys? They didn't even mention their names. No idea. Jobbers. Okay, well, he throws the guy out the ring. Did they get intros? I don't think they even mentioned their name. Look, he pushes the other guy away. This match in the morning, 1.8. This match in the morning. Tag me in. His brother wants tagging in. Wow, they're proper fired up. What's going on? Hurling him over, up onto the shoulders, takes him down. He throws him over as well. Kicking out. Oh, strikes K. This guy's fighting back. Picks him up, drives him into the corner. Creed Brothers could be quite interesting. These could be quite interesting. Throws the guy down. Have you still got Linda on your mind? Always, mate. Always. Another big slam, big power slam. I don't know anyone's name. Creed 1 and Creed 2. They're a bit like moody bananas in pajamas. They're both in black singlets. And they collide. They both pick up their opponents, just run them into each other. Wade Barrett says, Stu Bennett, Wade Barrett says, get the ambulances ready. Oof, heavy clothesline. 1, 2, 3. I think you could do something with these. They look pretty good. Very hard hitting. Very hard hitting. Bivens coming over, celebrating with Wade Barrett. Yeah, they look good. I like the presentation. I like how Bivens is really excited and he's got a massive smile and he goes over and he's hugging Wade Barrett and they're kind of really getting across like how dangerous these two are. Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. James Kenny said, Days, I played an Elastic Man game today and also heard that AEW is going to be on Long Island. I live in Long Island. Also, I used the Days Alarm Clock app to wake up for football practice. Amazing. Shout out to you, James Kenny. Right, we're backstage with Io and Zoe. I'd be interested in seeing Zoe Stark take on Jennifer Lopez. I'd be down for that. Obviously, it'd need a lot of building. But just seeing how strong Lopez was, and like if you built her up as being like, you know, a monster, and then Zoe Stark, that'd be good. These two need to join Chad Gable, says Ryan. They're good. They can add to Diamond Mine, says LSW. Joe said, what's better, salt or pepper? Salt. Do you know, I rarely reach for the pepper. Rarely reach for it. I don't know why. I mean, I feel like they do go together, obviously very, very well, but I mean, I put a lot of, like, you know, salt on chips. In the UK, if you go to a chip shop, they'll ask you, you know, can I get fish and chips, please? Like cod and chips or whatever. You can say fish and chips and they'll just give you, like, probably it'll be cod. And you'll have that. And then they'll like, do you want salt and vinegar? They'll ask you if you want salt and vinegar. So, throughout my life, I've had a lot of salt, but pepper just isn't something that has been in my diet all that much. Like, you'd have to specifically reach for the pepper, really. I don't think anyone's putting pepper on my meals without me but salt, yeah, salt all the time. So salt wins. Easy. Salt on chips. Salt on chips. Dave, you said Jennifer Lopez, not Elektra Lopez. Same thing, innit? Same thing. You can't tell me that you can see there's any difference. Right, we are at commercial break. We are at commercial break. Those two need to join chat. Gable, I thought he meant chips. No, he does mean chips. He means chips. Yeah? What? No, not like crisps. That you, but, oh, God, you Americans. You do my head in. Oh, God. Why can't we all just be on the same page with what we're talking about? We're not talking about crisps. We're talking about chips. Fish and chips, yeah? Are you a milkshake or a fizzy drink person? Well, I'm both, but I mean, if I'm having a meal, so, do you know what I mean? If I'm going, do you know what I mean? If you're sitting down for a nice meal or something, and you want a drink, you probably ain't getting a milkshake, are you? I mean, if you're sitting down and you're having a nice meatballs and pasta, or maybe you're having a nice steak, are you really having a chocolate shake with that? I would hope not. So, to be honest, I'd probably have had a Coke in the past, but now I tend to reach for water a lot more. So, I'd probably have a water. I might have, actually, honestly, I'd have a beer. If I was out in a restaurant, I'd have a beer, of course I would. So I'd have a beer, but at home I really don't drink all that much. I think the streams help that, to be honest. I never drink before streams, so if I have something to eat, like I had something earlier, I wouldn't have a drink with it. This is work, yeah, and I'm a big believer at not drinking when you're at work. Big believer in that, guys. Even though there's no one here to tell me off, I'd be disappointed in myself. All right, we're backstage with a very sad, very glum, very dejected Ember Moon. It's been a rough 3 months. I lost my tag titles. I've lost my tag partner. Okay. This is character development. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I know what I have to do. So stay tuned. What does that mean? What does that mean? She doesn't want to feel like that anymore. Right, hit row. In the studio. You won't catch me slipping again. This is alright. I don't mind this. There's no posing or anything here. They're just, She call her secret sauce? I like that. We have a problem. She called her secret sauce. Hitting me with a pipe is not how you say hello. That might have been one of the best hit row segments I've seen. There was nothing cringe there. And she even made me laugh by calling Lopez secret sauce. Because she did come out of nowhere. Right, Caden and Casey and their lady Mance. Remember that cringe Hit Row performance a few months ago. That was cringe. That was bad. That was bad. The posing and the posturing and all this, you know. I hate when they come out on the entranceway and they're all like, oh my god, it's just, oh, I hate it. I really hate it. But that was all right. That was all right. There was nothing wrong with that. Here's Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark coming out in kind of army attire, which is kind of interesting. Kind of like camo. It'd be good if her Titantron reflected that. Oh, and this is cool, isn't it? When EO comes out. Such a different entrance theme hers is. EO Shirai, the genius of the sky. I wonder what the future holds for her. Do you think they could... Is this for the titles? Do you reckon they could drop them here? Is EO a part of the new NXT? EO Shirai and Zoe Stark versus Casey and Caden. Why did their theme song sound like the Mortal Kombat theme at the beginning? Mortal Kombat. I love Zoe Stark. I like a lot of these women, actually. Tag Team Championship match. EO's cool. I just find their bromance a little... Their lady mance a little... Don't know. Annoying. Just a little annoying. I more prefer Zoe Stark and Io Shirai that just tolerate each other. She'll get moved to the main roster and then be buried, says Chris. Io is probably going to get the hell out of WWE and go back to Japan once her contract is up, says Blank. Could see Zoe Stark one day. I could see her going to the main roster, says David. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Really, yeah, I can't remember someone coming in and having such an immediate and consistent kind of eye-catching displays as what Zoe has. She's just been so good, so quick as well. I mean, clearly they saw it in her because she got pushed really hard week after week. She was on TV, and now she's one half of the women's tag champs. I mean, she has not been in for long at all. Lovely flip over there by Zoe. We want EO, and she tags EO in. How is EO not on the main roster yet, says some dude. Underneath goes... Caden. Against the ropes goes EO. EO flips back. Round the houses. Head scissor takedown. Cartwheel by Caden. EO and Caden. I don't need your help, she says to her partner. I thought they were on good terms. I mean, we saw them go to that restaurant and have a nice meal. And EO gave Zoe some wasabi. This NXT has been fine. Nothing bad, but nothing major. I agree with that. I think it's been... I feel like it's been a solid show. I feel like I've been quite entertained. So... yeah, I think it's been all right. I thought the the Ember match was very good at the start, and I really like how Ember's just said, you know, I know what I need to do. It really hints that, you know, there's some interesting coming, bit of character development. I like the fact they're doing the Bachelorette and Bachelor vignettes. Obviously, we had a big conversation about that before, and so I'm into that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to the Bachelor one. I thought Carmelo Hayes and Santos Escobar went a little long, maybe. Diamond Mine, I thought, looked pretty good. Those Creed brothers. Right, get in your halftime scores. No point me sitting here just running through. What do you think? Put in your halftime scores. Are you happy? Are you sad? What do you think? What do you think? Hey? What do you think? Put in your scores. What's the graphic on your t-shirt? I don't know. Do you know? It's... So this is... there is a little story to this. The every year, every Christmas, for as long as I can remember, my mum and dad buy me a shirt that's something that's music on it, right? Because I don't know how it started, but I think my mum would always try to buy me something that I would like, but she would try and get a nice little surprise. And I think it just became like, well, he likes music, because I used to work in an entertainment store. I mean, I like wrestling as well. Why they never used to just get me wrestling shirts, I have no idea. But it just became a thing where it was like, oh, he likes music. Get him a music t-shirt. So every year I'd and it became a thing where it's like, where's the music t-shirt? Where's the t-shirt that you've bought me this year? So every Christmas I would get a music related, and this is one of them. This is one of the music shirts. These are actually like four records, and I have no idea what the records are, but it's just like 4 records. And the only reason I own it is because it was a shirt that I got for Christmas from my parents, and it was one of the music shirts they bought me. So that's where it's come from. I don't even really like it that much. So I've got like, they never buy me like cool bands or anything. It's always like a shirt with a guitar on or something like this. It's never a good music shirt. They never go out and buy me like an AC/DC shirt or Iron Maiden or Johnny Cash. It's like a shirt with a musical note on it or something like that. It's like, do you know what I mean? And I think the more it became a joke, the more I think they tried to find specifically awful shirts then, and it just became this thing. So yeah, that's all it is. I wish I could say that it was more interesting than that, but Justin says 6. Nicole said 7 music discs out of 10. Robert says 5 out of 8. Justin says 6 out of 10. Brandon says 9.32. David says 5.5. Austin says 6. Paul Thomas says 5.6. Jay says 6. James Chadwick says 7.5. Let Him In says 6. Legend Killer says 6. A lot of 6s here, you know. I mean, a lot of people were saying 6 for Raw. Do you really think this is the same level as Raw? Or are we judging NXT by a different, like... Are you judging NXT by an NXT criteria, and you're judging Raw by a Raw criteria? Or what? Because I feel like the community was about a 5 to 6. So I'm quite surprised we're feeling that for this show. I'd be higher than that. Patty says 6. Daniel says 6. Legend Killer says 6. What's going on? Have you all called each other up? Are you voting 6? If you're voting 6, I'll vote 6. You're going 6? Well, I'll go 6. No, I'm typing it now. 6 out of 10. Yeah, I've done it. Yeah. All right, then. Yeah, I'll speak to you for the full-time scores. All right. Okay, bye. That must be what's happened. James Kenny, 6. Zachary, 6. LSW said, Raw was a 4 for me. Well, fair play. Trey says 6. Raw was decent, says Shola. 6.25 says Edward. 4.2 from the Russian judge. Oh, we've gone Eurovision. We've gone full-on Eurovision song. We're going over to Russia now. Russia has given it a 4.2. 6 says Damien. Brony says 7. 100 out of 100. Everyone just follows with the same score. Toonboy with a 6. KFC Nguyen said, this is boring. Raw was better. We're underway with this women's tag title match. Jennifer says, I don't take Raw or any other shows into consideration when it comes to NXT, so I'm going to stick with a 6. That's interesting. So you rate NXT. I mean, in a way, I suppose I do the same. Like, I suppose I think about previous Raws and how Raw compares to previous Raws when I think of my score. With this one, I suppose, I think about previous NXT, so I suppose you do hold each show to its own kind of slightly separate standard. Makes sense. I wouldn't feel right. I mean, I gave Raw 5, so for me, straight away, we're well over 5 for this. I mean, straight away. Crossface by EO. Dark Angel said, I don't mean the whole show, I'm just talking about the Hit Row promo. This is not bad. 8 out of 10. Legend Killer said, Days, I'm watching NXT. Legend Killer, shout out to you. We've only got 45 minutes to go, my friends. 45 minutes to go. Zach said, will you ever do toy hunts again? Will you ever do toy hunts again? Yes. Do you know, I was thinking, actually, what I might do is I might try and get back to America. I think if I get back to America, the only problem is, if I was to go to America and just try to hammer out loads of toy hunts, I mean, in a way, there's not really a reason why I can't get down the road now, but I just can't seem to do it. And I'm thinking that I might be able to get more done if I go to America. If I went to America, because when I went to America last time, I probably got about 6 toy hunts done. Because I did one in FYE, I did one in Target, I did one in Walmart, I did one in Walgreens. I was able to, get one in Hogan's Beat Shop. I was able to get, quite a bit of content out. Maybe I need to just do that. Maybe I just need to... But I don't know. I don't know if the world's still in lockdown. It's just that it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment, isn't it? Doesn't seem fun if there's, mask mandates and all of that. You got to do what you got to do. Of course, I'm not down on masks. I'm just saying that I might wait for it to pass and settle down a bit more. You should come into America Days style. Yes. Oh, Zoe collides into EO. EO goes out the ring. Oof. Canada would be a good shout. You've got Toys R Us still. Casey is climbing up. Casey getting on the shoulders of Caden. Big splash. 1, 2. Ugh. EO makes the save. EO makes the save. Good little, good few little spot there. Casey in there with Zoe. Zoe kicking the back of the leg of Casey. Knee strike. Going for the cover. 1, 2. Kick out. At the moment, it's Casey Catanzaro and Zoe Stark. Oh, that was great. I love that move. She kind of flips her over and as Casey's in the air, boom. It's kind of like a next level GTS. Moonsault 1, 2, 3. Zoe and Io retain. Io Shirai, the genius of the sky. I'm trying to watch the Boston Bruins game. Io and Zoe win. Raw wasn't great, but it was better than last week's Raw, which was awful. Toys R Us is out of business. I think it's still going in Canada, isn't it? Is it not still going in Canada? I thought they still had Canadian Toys R Us. Maybe not loads, but don't believe it's completely out of business. If it is, then that's honestly news to me. It's gone from the UK, and it's gone from America. William said, we used to have a place called Eccentrics that had tons of figures, but then the creepy owner was arrested for murdering women in Arizona. He didn't do it, so he moved to Arizona and is now probably murdering. Mandy Rose is in a relationship with Sheamus. She's stolen his mask. Here's Gigi Doolin. There's Mandy Rose. There's JC Jane. Here's Kyle O'Reilly. Right. They're going to bring Toys R Us back to America. I closed the chapter, not only in my career, but on my life. What next for Kyle, eh? What next for Kyle? The end game for me is the NXT Championship and Samoa Joe. I compare Raw to Smackdown and AEW to NXT. Why are people talking about Kevin Owens? He's just been tweeting out a few little teases that he's going to be leaving when his contract's up. But I don't know when is his contract up? Is his contract up January? Okay, we've got Dexter Lumis's bachelor party next. Sheamus wants his mask back. Austin said, I've never been to a Toys R Us. Oh my god. Oh my god. Toys R Us was the shop when I was a kid. There wasn't Smith's when I was a kid. There was. I mean, it might have been in Ireland, but it hadn't come over to the UK. So there wasn't Smith's when I was a youngster. It was Toys R Us. And there was one in Birmingham. And the one in Birmingham was like the place to go. And yeah, I used to go there whenever we used to go. Well, not every time, but I'd always try and go and have a look at... I'd always go to the wrestling figures as a kid and have a look and see what they had. By that point, it probably still would have been, what would it have been? It probably would have been Hasbro's. Would have been Hasbro's. I don't blame him since he's feuding with Logan Paul, says J14. Toys R Us was amazing, says LSW. It's funny, I've been watching, how I said earlier, I was downloading pictures of figures. I was watching some Watch Mojo, or What Mojo, whatever it's called. And they were talking about the top 20 shops that have closed in America. And I just wondered what they were. I wondered if I'd heard of them. Some I hadn't. But some I had. And I think Toys R Us was number 2 for the top 20 shops that closed. in America and on around anymore. Circuit City was on that list. I've heard of that. I don't think we had that over here. We did get Best Buy for a very, very short time, but it was only a short time. It was only like a few years we had Best Buy. Circuit City, I don't think ever came over. If it did, it maybe was in London, maybe a couple of cities, and that would have been it. I've never been in one in the UK. So Circuit City was one. Toys R Us was one that got mentioned. The top one that shut, it was Blockbusters. We had loads of them. They were everywhere. We had Blockbusters everywhere. So we had Blockbusters. Woolworths. We had Woolworths. That got mentioned. The one that I didn't recognise that we never had was A&P. Don't know what A&P is. And then I think there was one maybe called Fry's, maybe. That was, I can't remember what that was. There was a few that got mentioned. I was like, I don't know what these are. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like the high streets and town centres and everything are all changing, really. A lot of empty shops and shops closing down. Blockbusters, yeah, Blockbusters. Crazy, innit? Used to love Blockbusters. We had one literally 5 minutes down the road from where I lived. And we used to pop in there and only really as a real treat. I mean, it was not weekly. It wasn't even monthly. I would say we probably went 3-4 times a year. That was it. And it was only 5 minutes down the road. So I can't say it was a place we went all that often. But probably, you know, probably could have done with our support a bit more. But, yeah, it was there for years and years and years. But it was, I mean, it's Netflix that killed it, wasn't it? Ever fight anyone in your style? Well, I don't know what you mean. What's that mean? A&P was a grocery store back in the day. Circuit City is Toys R Us before Toys R Us. Circuit City, I think, was like an electronics place, wasn't it? I think they said that you could pretty much like get all the bits to build a computer there. Like you could get like modems and all that and just like build your own computer if you wanted. Like it sold bits, I think, Circuit City. Anyway, let's park that. Here's what's going on? Why is the ref? One of the refs is dressed as a zombie. Johnny says, I'm not paying for any of this. Here's Cameron Grimes. Jake Maverick. Why is the referee like a zombie? I don't get that. So Cameron Grimes is paying for it. Here we go, lads on the town, boys on the town. Here we go. They're going to Deserland. I don't know what that is. Odyssey Jones is loving it. $10,000 is the prize, so they're going go-kart him. That looks fun. I've never heard of Deserland. I wonder where it is. They're spying on the bachelor party. What is going on with the referee being a zombie? What is that about? I'm going to Google it. I want to know where it is. Does anyone have any experience with an axe? And Lumis puts his hand up. It is in Orlando, and it's on International Drive. I think I know where this is. I think I've been here. Loads of times. I think I've been here loads and loads and loads of times. Yeah, I know exactly where this is. It's really weird, actually, because in Florida, on International Drive, down the one end of International Drive, which is, it used to be the place where you would stay when you went to Florida. You'd go to International Drive. Down the one end, there was a place that was called Festival Bay, and it was a shopping centre. And it had a cinema, and it had a Hot Topic, and it had about 50 different shops. There was a place that sold soccer kits, and it had loads and loads of places to go. And I used to go there. Anytime I went to Florida, I used to go to Festival Bay. Well, that shut down a few years ago, and it seems like they've turned it into this. So it seems like they ripped out all the shops, and now they've put in like a go-karting thing, and they've put in like trampolines, and they've put in all this. So this is on, for anyone that's been to Florida, this is on International Drive. And they've got laser tag as well. This is wrestling. We've got Drake Maverick. So they're doing laser tag at the moment. Dexter Lumis just smacked him in the face. This looks alright, doesn't it? Looks like you could have some fun here. I don't know who Team Green are. Dexter Lumis is just choking people out. I don't think Dexter Lumis knows how to play laser tag. And Johnny Gargano just keeps coming up and shooting them when they're down. Johnny's going to have amazing laser tag numbers. He might go down in the records book as the greatest ever player. There's Dexter with some chloroform, just like putting people to sleep. There's Johnny. Pew. Dexter's a menace. Dexter's acting like Michael Myers. I don't know why the referee is acting like a zombie. I don't know what that's about. Are they on the same page? Dexter. Oh, look at that. They touch hands. The moment. And now we're just seeing flashbacks. Oh, it's heartwarming. It's very emotional. We've got Indi and Candice. Let's go have a wedding. So they're all on the same page. Ah, that was fun. Indi and Dexter next week. Maybe the ref got a whiff of the chloroform. The zombie ref is a callback to Halloween Havoc. Oh, is it time for Tiana Sha? Boomer woman. It's time. It's time for you to do something rather than just sit there like a boomer. Mi Ying is Mi Ying. Oh. Don't you talk about Mi Ying. I'm a big fan of Mi Ying. Mi Ying and Yadong. Big fan of both of them. I can see her baby bump. Her bump. Her lovely baby bump. Check it out. Daniel enjoyed it. Brony said that was so entertaining. Dexter smiling. I loved that, says Brony. You got to update the thumbnail. Yeah, I got to do it next week. There's no point doing it this week when we got the big relaunch. Next week, Austin Theory will interfere. Oh, Austin Theory will come back. That could be fun. That could be fun. Alex said, are you a fish or sausage person? Probably sausage. Probably sausage. Don't mind fish, but I'll take a sausage sandwich over most things. It was good. Who was your favourite NXT champion? I always think Finn Balor is the ultimate. Balor or... No, I think Balor. I think Balor was the ultimate NXT champion. So I'll say Balor. Mi Ying and Yadong. Is Mi Ying a new sign-in? She's the boomer woman that sits in the chair. Do you know what I mean? We're going to see her do something now. Have you ever had a fight or argued with someone in the store? Oh, I've argued. Never had a fight. But I've argued with people. So, yeah, I've had arguments with people, but I've never had a fight. Well, I mean, I've had to, like, escort people out that have been shoplifting and things like that. But did it ever turn nasty? Not that I can remember. Not that I can remember. We had security guards that would kind of deal with if ever it turned nasty. But it very, very rarely did. Very, very rarely. Can you tell us more about this argument? About what argument? About arguments in stores. I had loads. Loads. I mean, people wanting to get refunds on things, and the policy was we would only exchange. If it's not faulty, then we would exchange. If it's faulty, then, of course, we have to refund. That was the policy in the shop. And, you know, if there's no leeway on that. If you do leeway on that, then you have to do it for others, because then the people, obviously... you know, and it's certainly when you're working in something like DVD shop, people can take it home, watch it, and then try and get the refund after watching it. You used to get that all the time, So I had countless arguments with people all the time, every day, for 15 years. But it never came into like a fight. Daze is scared to tell us how he got beaten up. The longest reigning champ, Adam Cole Bay, says Mac. If you're coming to America, you should come to Queens or Long Island and go to the Wrestling Universe store. They've got some new Mattel, old Mattel, Jax, and even Hasbro. 25 minutes. We've got a little Connor's Cure advert. Here is Jessi and Hey, money. Baby, I got your money. Don't you worry. Frankie Jessi. Huge news. Huge news. Next week. Frankie Monet against Raquel. Women's Championship. Screw Index. Next week, everyone's going to talk about Frankie Monet. Right, here we go. Midong, or whatever her name is. Midong versus... I don't know who she's facing. Yadong. Jobber. Probably a jobber. Scary Mary. That's what we should call her. Scary Mary is making her way down. Spooky McGrew. Frankie's gonna lose. I don't know who she's facing. Who's she facing? Who's your favourite NXT superstar? I don't know. I don't know. I like the whole way thing. I really am entertained by that. I like Zoe Stark. I like Volta. I don't know. I don't know if there's anyone I'm really crazy about, which is a little... I like Odyssey Jones. Oh, here we go. What's this woman? Virginia Ferry. Virginia Ferry looks like a rejected Avenger. Mi Ying lashing out at Virginia Ferry. She's got a kick by Mi Ying. Striking back on Virginia. Lots of just like strikes to like the throat. Like chops. This is a character that I think people could get quite into. It's a bit Abaddon-y. This is like WWE does Abaddon. Well, well done to Scary Mary. Virginia, what? Lakers colours. Wow. Just like the Lakers, she's been defeated. Days, I've got my day of middle school tomorrow. Do you have any... Your first day of middle school? I don't know. Has anyone got any advice for the first day of middle school? I didn't have middle school. I mean, obviously I had my first day of secondary school here in the UK. And I would say enjoy it. Enjoy it. Be cool. Be open. Be, you know, talkative and confident and all that. And know that everyone is in the same boat. So if you're nervous, everyone feels the same. So just go and have fun. Have you ever had a fight and tell us the story? I had a fight in secondary school. It wasn't much of a fight. I can't even remember how it started. You know, like how people say stuff and then before you know it, you're involved in a fight and you don't even know how it happened. It's one of them. It's just some guy and I don't know how it happened. I don't know. I just remember it got built up over a few days and everyone, you know, when people jump on things and then it turns into you're having a fight. I've told the story before where I remember after school going down to like the playground and the fields and like the person was there. I walked over and there was a bit of pushing and shoving and there was loads of people like circled around and it was really annoying because I was like, well, okay, if I'm going to have a fight, then let's have a fight. I'd not had a fight before. I wasn't really interested in having a fight, but you know me, guys. I ain't backing down from a fight. You know me. Legend. And so I was like, okay, let's do this. But everyone in the circle kept like trying to trip us over, trying to trip me over. They're trying to trip him over. They're trying to like get involved. Do you know what I mean? It's like, guys, look, you're the audience. I'm the trained fighter. We need to get this relationship sorted out here because you're interfering. Like, it's very hard for me to, like, go about my business if you're going to keep trying to trip me over. I mean, I didn't say any of that, but I was definitely thinking it. But it kind of ended where he walked off in the end. And so I hit him, he hit me. And I don't know if it was because I wasn't, like, backing down, I wasn't going away. He just decided to walk away. But I took that as a victory for me. I was on my feet. I was still ready to go, ready to throw. And he ended up, like, walking off. And I was like, that means I win. I claimed that as a win for me. I wish I could say that I put him down and stuff like this. But it's not really true. He threw a few shots and walked off, and that was it. But isn't that how school tends to go? In all fairness, a lot of fights are more hype than the actual fight themselves. Sometimes you can get some good fights. I saw some good fights, but a lot of the time, the fight doesn't live up to the hype. Certainly when the people involved aren't even interested in fighting, and that was very much me. So stay safe, everyone. Stay safe. Days said, "I'm sorry, I love you." Yeah, it was really emotional, guys. He was over, and he was all like this. "I'm sorry, I love you." Delivered a super kick, put him down like this. There was tears coming down my face. I was having to wipe them away. And then he went to TNA, and he did some stuff in Impact. And I think his daughter goes to that school now. So, what a coward. Yeah, I thought that. Coward. I was like, but that surely means I win. LSW said, I saw a fight in a bathroom. Oh, no way would I ever do that. If someone said, like, we'll meet in the bathroom, we'll fight in the bathroom, I'd be like, nah, definitely not. Definitely not. No way. Two kids slipped and everyone was laughing. Nah. You slip and hit your head off a sink or something like that. No. I used to love the hype. People would make bets, says Shola. Days, did you go to jail? Yeah, I got arrested. I went to prison. That's what happened. I beat him up, right? There was blood everywhere. Dripping all over my fists. Just running down my arm. Licked it off like that. Wiped it over my face. Yeah. And I was like, who else wants some? Yeah, I'm known as Killer now. Yeah, that's what you can call me from now on, Killer. Like this. And then the police came. And I was like, get away from me, you pigs. And then they dragged me off. And I was like, I'm never going down. I'm never going down. And then I had to do hard time in Cobb County, Georgia. Because England couldn't contain me. It's too dangerous for England. They had to throw me over in Cobb County, Georgia. Some of that is made up. Right, we are... How long we got? 16 minutes. Killer days. Yeah. Dark Angel says, knowing when to walk away and when to make a stand is a very important lesson to learn. That is true. That is true. I mean, in all fairness, there is no shame in walking away. I mean, in all fairness, like, I don't know if anyone said anything to him after. To be honest, I have no idea. Because you know what school's like? It's on to the next thing, innit? So, I mean, no one, like, obviously no one said anything to me after. About it. It was just very much like something that happened that evening. Next day, there might have been a bit of rumbling, but it's, did you hear about such and such? I mean, next day, it's done, and you're on to the next thing. So, we got Tommaso. Austin said, I've never been in a fight. I'm a good kid. Oh, wow. I mean, apart from that one, I don't really count anything else. I once opened a stall door whilst a fat kid was pooping, and I punched him in the face. He told a bunch of people he was going to kick my ass. He did not. I'm sorry, there's a lot to unpack there. So you just opened up... First of all, why was it not locked? Right? But anyway, you opened it up. There's a fat kid there with his trousers round his ankle. Yeah, you just went up to him and went, boom! Like this. I mean, there's a lot to... I mean, I bet it helped him with the pooping. I never had a fight in school, but I did have a fight in college. That's unusual. Normally by college, you've kind of... people have gone past that. So, I would say that's very unusual. Yeah, I'd say that was unusual. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I suppose you can get in fights. I suppose you could get in fights in college. I just always think of it as like a high school, secondary school thing more so. Edward said, I've never lost a fight. I was the top dog. I was the top dog. Top dog. Well, just be thankful that you never went to the same school as Killer. That's all I'm going to say. Right, here we go. MSK versus Lorcan. Burch. I slapped my sir in college. What does that mean? You slapped your sir? What's a sir? William never fails to tell us a funny story. I know. There's a lot about... I love the fact the kid was fat. Don't know why. Love the fact he was pooping. Don't know why. But it all adds to it, doesn't it? Sonny said, I've got a story. Go ahead. Some bully tried to fight me by cornering me. After the bell rang, I used karate, kicked her in the stomach and ran to class. The bully ended up moving. That's cool. That's very cool. So you got cornered and you kicked out. Girl fights are very unusual. They're quite rare. I mean, maybe they happen more now, but when I was at school, girls were very prim and proper, not getting into fights at all, not even arguing. I don't think I ever saw. There was one girl that was a bit of a tearaway, that was a bit of a problem. But I don't even remember her getting into a fight. But I heard that she pushed a girl down some stairs after school. But I never saw her get into a fight in school. MSK, this is the tag titles on the line. We've only got 10 minutes to go. I slapped my friend and Teddy Long came up and set up a handicap match against The Undertaker. Oh my God. Oh my God. You don't need that, do you? You might end up in an interactive Netflix movie. Alex says, are you a sleep or a non-sleep person? I'm a sleep person, definitely. I need sleep. I need sleep, definitely. I'm someone that probably needs about 7 hours. Like, I'm not someone that can get by on 3. Like, I definitely need 7 hours. I wish I could sit here and say I don't need it. I'm very good, though. I'm very good at, like, say if I stream and then I've got, like, I can get a nap for a couple of hours. That'll do me. And then I can stream again. And then if I get another couple of hours, that'll do me. And I can get by with that for quite a while. But eventually I need a solid 7 hours sleep, yeah. But I can get by with whatever, to be honest. The only thing that would be a problem is if I was... You know, like, you hear about market traders that stay awake 24 hours a day, but what they do is they have, like, a minute where they'll, like, slip off, and then that'll keep them going, and they just do that throughout the day. Like, little quick power naps, and then they're back. Like, I've heard those kind of stories. But you need sleep. Days could fight Conor, Floyd, and Mike Tyson. Yeah, well, they all went to my school. I mean, those are the kind of people that I was beating up. Days escaped from prison. He used the Tough Guy Jailbreak 101. He's a wanted criminal. It's true, I am a wanted criminal. That's why I'm having to lie low on the internet. That's why I'm having to try and really make sure that I'm not seen and I keep myself to myself by doing more streams than I think anyone else on YouTube. In the past 48 hours, I've had 9 hours sleep. I would not want to be streaming on that, let me tell you. Have you heard of tap boxing? It happens a lot at schools. No. Tap boxing. Is that where, like, you do a bit of a tap dance and whilst people are looking at your feet, you go boop, boop, boop. They're like, what's that? Oh my god, I'm getting punched in the face. What's tap boxing? Is it one of them? Have you ever had a match with The Undertaker? Yeah, I have, yeah. Yeah, beat him up. Girl fights over here are like actual fights, says Sonny. I saw a fight in a classroom. It was funny, especially when the maths teacher says, "Did you finish?" and they kept on fighting. As an adult, I am more sorry about the fights I won, says Vape Moss Vape. You're more sorry about the fights you won. I do wonder that, like, bullies at school when they get older, do you think they regret it? Do you think they don't care? Like, there's some awful, awful people in school. Awful. They just don't know right from wrong, seemingly. And, you know, there's bullies that can make people's lives horrific. And, you know, do those people change? Do those people mature and grow up and realise how wrong they were? Do they live through life with, like, regret? Or I've always wondered that. Or do those people just, you know... Not all of them must continue to be, like, awful. I don't know. LSW, what? How? You know, you as a bully. How are you now? Have you changed? Tap boxing is when you fight, but you aren't actually hitting. You're just tapping. Hence, tap boxing. Well, that wasn't a thing when I was in school. I mean, like, I will admit that the height, like, everyone spoke a big fight, and then when it came to the fight, everyone was like. I think that's school though, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna mess him up, man. Oh, I'm gonna mess him up. I'm gonna mess him up so bad. When he looks in the mirror, he won't even recognise who he is. He'll ask, who's that? Yeah. Well, in fact, he won't be able to because he'll be on a drip. And then when the fight comes round, they're like... And they're all like Bambi on ice, not sure, like... I wonder now that UFC's come along and people are watching more proper fighting and takedowns and, you know, jiu-jitsu and, like, it's just more... It's a bigger part of society now. I wonder if, like, the caliber of fighting has drastically improved. Like, back in the day, all you knew when you was at school was, like, just punch them hard in the nose. That was it. Punch them in the nose as hard as you can. Try and break their nose. That was what you used to try and do. Or what I used to try to do. Or what I would try to do anyway if I was in a fight. Just hit them as hard in the nose. But now I think I'd be starting to think about takedowns. I would. I'd be thinking like double legs. And I'd be like, if I can get them down and start working a bit of ground and pound, that's probably the safest way forward for me. I'd be thinking that. I wouldn't want to be keeping it on the feet for too long, to be honest. Because I'd fancy my chances if I could get them down, if I could get full mount. If I could get full mount and then start raining down ground and pound. I feel like that's a much safer position to be in than standing and just trying to box. So I wonder if that has kind of crept in now. Interesting. Joaquin said, does Bray have any rights to the Fiend character? I don't believe so. I would imagine that's a WWE thing. Slapboxing should be in the Olympics. I tried to bully a kid, but didn't know the twerp knew karate, said Zoomstation. Right, we are back. Final part of NXT. James Kenny said, I broke a kid's arm because he tried to touch my privates. This is Private Johnson. This is Private Smith. Please don't touch them. Please don't touch my my privates. Richard, shout out to you. I hope they're not doing leg locks and submissions. They might be. Arm bars. Can you imagine arm bars? Arm bars in the playground. The problem is, if you was to put someone in an arm bar, right, or do something like that, first of all, they're going to tap. Are you going to let go? Right? Is that really honestly the way that a fight's ending? You're going to just believe that they're not going to smash you in the face once you let go. So, would that even work? And the other thing, they're going to have friends that are going to surely stomp and kick you whilst you're down. Like, going down to the ground actually might be not the wisest thing. If you're alone, you might be all right. But if you're surrounded by people, going down to the ground, people are kicking. Definitely. Definitely. So I can't remember who asked the question about, it's my first day of middle school, have you got any advice? But hopefully there's a few things there that you can take. Have fun, be confident, have a great time, it's going to be fine. And hopefully we've taught you how to survive the mean streets of middle school. Burn It Down said, I bullied a kid. He turned out to be a black belt and he destroyed me. I don't know if this counts, but I once pulled my mate's trousers down, pushed him over, and then I farted on his face. It's a dub in my eyes. I want to do the Otis finisher. I want to do the worm on a school bully. The midsection against the ropes. Knee strike by Nash. Trying to tag in Wesley. I've seen fights where the spectators are fair and say, let them get up. Oh, it's very civilized. It's very civilized where you are. Lee comes in, duck underneath, strikes the midsection. We don't have like wrestling at high school, but you lot have wrestling. I would imagine they probably don't get messed with. Or maybe they do. Maybe like school bullies pick on some of the wrestlers that they fancy their chances against. I don't know. Or I wonder if they leave him alone. I don't know. I kind of feel like if you're on the wrestling team, it could be quite interesting. We don't have that. It's not a thing in the UK. We don't do wrestling in high school at all. It's not a thing. We do rugby, football, cricket, bit of basketball, athletics, of course, bit of tennis. There was a long jump pit. It was awful. But there was a long jump pit, and we used that a couple of times, rarely. But that was about it. There certainly wasn't any sort of fighting. There was no boxing or wrestling or anything. Instead of breaking up a fight, I would join in and commentate. Oh my god, that'd be immense. Carter, moonsault to the outside. NXT tag titles on the line. And have we got an overrun here? Never bully someone unless it's in bed with your partner. Then it's kinky and sexy, says Austin. Knee strike by Lorcan. Would you call out Floyd or Mike Tyson? Probably not. Probably not. I'm a streamer, not a fighter. Right, we've got ankle lock and crossface applied. Got it. Pulling back on the head, working the ankle. MSK trying to break out of it. And they do. There's a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd. It's very muted. The "This is awesome" chants are really quiet. It's like, oh, that's better. That's louder. This is awesome. Knee strike. Chop by Lorcan. I wonder what the capacity is of the CWC. I wonder how many people you can fit in compared to how many people you're going to be able to fit in. I hope it's more. I hope there's going to be more people that can get in. Ooh, nice. 1, 2, 3. MSK win. MSK win. MSK. It's about time we put a little respect on the reign of MSK. Good match. 1, 2, 3. Still 6 minutes left, is there? Well, MSK is on the entrance ramp. We've got Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland in the ring. They're walking away. Is Pete Dunne going to attack? Are they going to attack them or something? Is he helping him up? Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland. Yeah. Headbutt. Looks like they're done with them. Pete Dunne kicks out at Oney Lorcan. So it looks like Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland are attacking Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Losers. Lost the match, didn't you? Brought shame. Brought shame to the UK. You deserve it. You deserve it. You suck, Chance. I don't know if it counts. Always hit the crotch if they're messing with you. Would you fight Alexa or God? I would fight the person that's booking Alexa. Right, wow, it's ended a bit strange. Like, they've attacked Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, but it's all a bit like, I don't know. Am I meant to care? Yeah, shortest faction existence ever. I don't know if I'm meant to care about that. Right, get in your full-time scores. I think I am meant to, but I don't. Lol. Full-time scores. Full-time scores. Get in your full-time scores, baby. They started bullying them after they talked about bullying. Yeah, that's true. They've just been bullied. That was a flat turn. Yeah. 4 minutes early. Full-time score 6, says Austin. 7.5, says Big Boy Dally. Alex Bliss Gamer says 8. Silent Yoshi says 7. Dylan says 7. Let Him In says 6. 5.5 from Jonathan, 7 from Brad, 7 from Patty. Brandon with a 9.35. Marty gives it a 7. Future Comps gives it a 6. Burn It Down with a 7. Robin with a 7.5. Ryan with a 7.25. Diego with a 7. Daniel with a 6.95. Shahid says 7. Shola says 7. Hayden says 6.5. Adrian says 6. Shahid says 6. Justin says 6.5. 7.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7, 7.75 says Michael. 6.5 says Legend Killer. Jacob says 10. Scorpio says 5.5. Sunny says 7. LSW 6.5. William says 6.66. Trade Gaming says 7. Legend Killer says 6.5. I am going to be largely with you lot. I'm going to go 6, 7, 5. I thought there was bits here that I really enjoyed. I really like Casey and Caden versus Zoe and Io. I really like Ember versus Kaylee. Kaylee Ray at the start was a really good match. Main event match I thought was pretty decent as well. I thought there was some decent wrestling on this week's show. I don't know if there was loads that really got your pulse racing. I thought the Bachelorette vignette could have been a bit stronger. The Bachelor one was better. Maybe both could have been a bit stronger even still. But I thought they did a job. And I like that Ember says that she knows what she needs to do. So it's going to be interesting to see what Ember's going to do. I thought the hit row thing was actually all right this week. I ain't got an issue with that. So I thought that came across all right. Elektra Lopez slamming that Carmelo Hayes, I thought was kind of a fun little moment. It was all right. I felt like there was bits throughout the whole show that was kind of keeping me entertained. But there was definitely things that I would want to change. I mean, I think the Carmelo match was a bit long. I think, as I said, some of those vignettes could have been tighter, could have been a little better, a bit funnier. I thought, like, the Bachelor one was quite funny compared to the Bachelorette one. I think, there didn't feel like there was much of significance here. I didn't feel like there was much of significance. But we did get a tag title match, but it's just hard to care about that. And then we did get the little split at the end as well. So, as I said, there's just lots of little things that I think were happening throughout the night. I thought the Creed brothers looked quite good as well. That was just kind of keeping me entertained throughout the night. I thought they did a decent job. So, I'll go 6, 7, 5. I might be convinced to go to like a 7 maybe. But, yeah, you wouldn't want too many shows like this where, you know, it maybe doesn't get the pulse really racing. I think we could have done a little more, but... Not bad at all. Really looking forward to next week. I think that's overshadowing everything next week and the refresh and the new layout and all that kind of stuff. I'm really, really looking forward to that. So, yeah, we are sneaking our way towards the brand new NXT. So, tomorrow, let's just wrap up with what we've got tomorrow. Tomorrow, we've got England versus Poland over on Football Days. Make sure you join us over there. I'm going to set that stream up as soon as we're done here. So we've got that tomorrow over on Football Days. That's the last England game. Obviously, this weekend coming, we've got Premier League action. So we've got England versus Poland. So far, England have played 2. They played Hungary. They played Andorra. They've won both. So can they get their third win in their World Cup qualifier? So England, Poland. Poland have got one of the world's greatest strikers in Lewandowski. So be interesting to watch him as well. So very much looking forward to that. And then later, AEW Dynamite. Adam Cole, baby. Daniel Bryan, baby. Ruby Soho, baby. We're going to surely be hearing from them. So massive Dynamite on this channel tomorrow. And England versus Poland over on Football Days. Awesome, guys. Right, that's it. We're wrapping up there. Really, really appreciate the support as always. Hope you enjoyed NXT. I thought it was really solid. So hope you enjoyed it. And hope you have a great evening wherever you are. And remember, don't be a bully. Or be bullied. Stand up to bullies, though, as well. Say no to bullying. All those things, yeah? Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.